let me just say I thank everybody for being here and being around for all this time that I've been running these lives and doing this because it's been some years and we've been sharing a lot of good information, you know, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it. What's up with it, Hugo? That's the beautiful thing about it. We get to actually share not just the information, it's more of we get to share ourselves and how we view things, how we view, this life. And you get so many different views, so many people from different places that it's just a beautiful thing to me, if you ask me. But what we're gonna get into today is I'm gonna start it off like this. And then I don't know if Wally is here. I'll try to get Wally to come in. I'll text him and try to get him to come into the chat. But first, we're going to start off with this, with the fractal universe. Because one thing that you start to see about things is the connection. What's up with it, awoken one? You start to see these different connections and like almost like reality has a pattern, and you start to see the pattern that is being played out within reality, and it doesn't even just be the outside you. It also kind of shows how your mind actually works also in the same beat. Your mind works this way. This is just how it goes along in creating these things. You say two Irish leprechaun is arrested. Patrick, what, what the let there be light then. Is that the light? Like, wait, hold on, let me show this. This is funny. I ain't gonna say it, but that is funny, bro. Let there be light. That is hilarious. Yeah, much love, man. Much love to everybody. But let's get into this, and then like I said, after we get into this, I'll open the live chat so we all can kind of talk about whatever we're gonna talk about, because it never really matters to me because it's always interesting, like I say. But let's go and let
Could
me
mere
know, can you,
mathematics create an
if you can
entire
hear it or
universe?
not? Can y'all hear this?
What does broccoli
Awoken
have in
one.
common with the Big Bang? And what does it have to do with a video game like No Man's Sky or Minecraft? One thing. All are based on simple formulas that create infinite complexity.
Okay, yeah, I did it right.
In 1980, the mathematician Benoit Mandelbrot publicized a simple formula: Z maps to Z squared plus C. But you don't apply it only once. You take the result and feed it back into the formula. Do this often enough and a pattern emerges, the Mandelbrot set. The more you repeat this calculation, the more complex details are revealed. Ultimately, you could repeat this infinitely. The only limit.
That's the crazy thing, that it infinitely does the same thing over and over and over again. It reminds me as like when they talk about the as above, so below, like kind of thing.
Limitation being the processing power of your computer. The patterns one can find here look strangely familiar and widespread. Mandelbrot gave them the name fractals.
And this is what's crazy because like on a lot of on a lot of your experiences, this is what you see. You see so many different fractals and layers to the fractals going on and on and on. And it'll go on and it'll kind of shift and change like this over and over again, in and folding in and out of itself. Like for, it seems like for a millennium at times.
Fractal patterns seem so familiar because these shapes are omnipresent in nature. The most important characteristic of fractals is their so-called self-similarity. Look at a fern leaf. It is made out of smaller and smaller copies of itself. The same is true for Romanesco broccoli. The branching patterns of trees follow this principle, as do the courses of rivers. Lightning
What's
spreads into smaller and
crazy.
smaller branches, each sharing the same features as the main bolt.
Hey, and this is what I be just saying is like if you watch, like our thought patterns work in the same way. The same way. Everything has this underlying. way of going, and it all does it. Like you like no matter what we feel or whatever, like it all does the same thing.
But also man made structures organize themselves into
Oh,
fractal
thanks,
patterns
thanks
without
Zach
us
for
actually
becoming a
planning them this
member.
way.
Thanks Zach for becoming a member, and thank everybody that actually became a member because it helps share. It helps build the channel. It helps the channel for like because it's like well, it helps me pay for the things that I pay for in order to keep this thing going. And the ones that's here, you can become a member. Like that's the way you help me keep this thing going, so we can stay here, stay present, stay sharing whatever we sharing. But thanks, Zach.
Here is a map of all the roads leading to Rome and a map of the internet.
Look, all the same.
It's especially fascinating that even your own body shows many fractal.
Hey, see now this is weird right here, right? Is on Salvia. This is like I seen this little layer right here. I was seeing this part right here. I was seeing this darkness, and then I was seeing this thing right here, and it was like that was crazy, bro. And I'm surprised I ain't dove in again. It's probably because I've been so busy. But to be able to focus your be able to even focus enough to see that was just like mind blowing to me. And I think that's what makes me go, dang, I gotta try this thing again. As soon as I get a chance, I'm gonna dive in again.
Characteristics. Thanks to its fractal structure, your lungs have a surface area of over 100 square meters, enabling them to efficiently absorb oxygen. This oxygen is then transported through your fractal bloodstream into your brain, in which the neurons are interconnected fractally. Every thought you think, even right now at this very moment, is a cascade of electric impulses traveling through the fractal network in your brain.
Hey, this is exactly what I was saying. That it all works the same. Like your thoughts work the same way that we've seen the way the water comes into the earth from the land from the sea or the rivers or whatever, like the way the broccoli grows, the way it all functions the same. And it's like the weirdest thing, and it's just one thing that it'll kind of show you like on your experiences over and over again. Even sometimes we don't grasp it at the time, but later we start seeing it in the patterns.
This is a simulation of dark matter in our universe. The visible section is 10 million light years across. Even on these scales, you can find the same fractal branching patterns as in the neurons of your brain, in rivers, or in lightning. All this complexity is based on simple feedback processes and on formulas like the Mandelbrot set. With today's computers, we can take these fractal formulas and add a third dimension. With simple math, beautiful 3D worlds can be created.
But it's crazy.
SAR, thus
I hope
revolutionizing
they
all.
don't. I hope they wait. Hold on. Let me stop this video. I didn't, I didn't listen to it before. Every time I do that, like I didn't listen to it, and I don't want to get in trouble for the music, but I hope you get what I'm saying. Let me share this link and let me see if I can get Wally to join. If I can get Wally to join in on the live, I don't want to have. I'm gonna have to. I'll be have to plug Wally in on the phone, bro. Let me see. I'll be have to plug him in on the phone, but you like as you can see, it's like it's a pattern to everything that is being done, and everything works in that pattern or in that way, which is like the trippiest thing to me. But you start seeing it after so many experiences. You start to see that this is just how it works, and so many things is doing it. You feel me? From dang Wally not gonna answer. Yeah, Wally worked late. He probably asleep. But like this is one of the things that you start to see. And then once you start to see that, you start to see how not just religion, but how our belief system came along and it grew with these same patterns. Like once you like, it started off as this one thing, and then it branched off into all these other ways. It went just like the electricity, or like when the lightning bolt hit, or you feel me? It just did that same thing. Like, wait, hold on, let me show this right here. Oh, yeah. Okay, it all did and it all came in like this. It started from this one thing, and it actually broke off into all these other things. But where it started from was right here. It started at this one point right here, and then it just went on. It started at this one point right here, and then it just went on like forever. And it created so many different other systems that we began to take on. What's up, Wally? Oh, I thought you worked that night, Wally. My bad. Oh, okay. Yeah, somebody told me to somebody was always, they're always asking for you to come in and give a talk on it. Okay, well, yeah, I'm trying to. Nah, I'll be trying to. It'd be better when I can just pull you on the live. Oh yeah, yeah. I had to try that. Yeah, cause Sally different, Wally. Sally, yeah, I know Wally sounds 100 miles away. Cause I can't hook him up. I was trying to plug him in. No, I was trying to plug you in. You know. No, I 14 hours. Golly. Well, well, if you go to the live and you click the link, it'll pull you right in though, Wally. Yeah, 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 yeah. Say stream. It say stream. Yeah, it's probably asking you to download the Streamlabs. Let me see. Matter of fact, because I haven't even seen how it works. It probably asks you to download the Streamlabs. But I don't know why I would even do that. Nah, I get what you're saying, but I didn't think it had to have you download anything because it goes straight. Oh, okay. No, no, Wally. It doesn't have you download anything. It just takes you. it takes you straight to yeah, and it'll take you straight to your what's the name to where yes. All right, all right, I'll be here. Yeah, because I don't know how to plug and play with this thing yet. It's like, I got it. I don't know how to use it yet. I haven't took the time out because I haven't had the time. And usually when I have time, I come in here and I just be kind of ready to go live. You feel me? If I'm not dealing with the family and everything. So, you know, it would be cool if I knew how to plug and play this thing. Dang, if I would have used the other, oh, I should have used that, huh? I could have actually used that. Let me see. Let me see. I might can work it that way. I'm not sure. He try because yeah, Wally be in there. He like, man, how you gonna be surprised? How you gonna be surprised that I dove in on Sally? Man, Sally is. I'm not gonna hold you. All the stories that I heard about Sally, bro. Sally is a beautiful. It's a dope experience. It's so close to the DMT experience, which is dope to me. Like it's real close to the DMT experience. That's what I liked about it. But the separation that it gives you, it's like it literally separates you from your body or this thing called consciousness. I don't know if the working, it literally gives you that separation though. And I think that's what's the dope thing about it is that it separates you from this thing that we perceive to be ourselves, and that separation was like the dopest thing to me. Like it was like even like I said, my mind, this front of me was all the way over there somewhere else. Like period, it was gone, and I'm like going, wait, what's happening? Like I could feel like it's weird because it started in like my legs. It was I hate to say that because that sounds weird in itself, but it started in my legs, and I could feel whatever. I, I just say the spirit. I call it spirit. I could feel it pulling itself away from the body, like it was like trembling at first, like it had my Oh dang, what's up, Mister Nobody?
I missed nobody, bro.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? You go after all this time now? You want to pop in?
Yeah, man. I look like Santa Claus, man. I'm Christmas.
Man, look, Wally then grew his beard all out. How'd you do
Oh
that?
my goodness. They call me Gandalf where I live. It's fucking
Yeah, you
crazy.
did.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, Wally.
This is all new to me. I know that I might know this how to do. Look. I'm sleeping all the time, bro. I don't even know what you know. I mean, I'm having more fun there than here, and
Yeah.
I only come here to smoke weed and take care of the needs of the body. It's pathetic. It's ridiculous. It's just I don't know what to
So,
say, man.
so are you like okay? Are you just letting the body do what the body does?
Yeah, it's horrifying, literally. If you try to go in there with any type of intelligence operating at a personal level, I had a very funny experience because in my last trip, I to do psychedelics now. All I need is Advil PM and a blunt, and it takes me the hell out of here. And I'm going like, look at this. No, I have to even spend less money. You know. Hold on, give me a minute.
All right. Yeah, y'all. That's the one thing I haven't tried yet. I haven't.
How are you,
Yeah,
sir?
this is
Okay.
Wally. Wally, you guys.
Yeah.
The the
Yeah, yeah, and it's like I was gonna. One of the odysseys that I engaged on, I was really looking for the meaning of the word personal,
yeah.
and because it's very confusing. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we hear you good. Yeah.
Okay, so it turns out that the word person, you know how it means mask already. So, that's kind of known. It's like a mask you put on.
Yeah.
And then the word personal literally means special. That's what it means. And when I saw that word, I was like, oh my God. So the me believes, I get it because he believes he's the center of the universe. And I'm talking about globally. Everybody in the planet, we believe that we are the only intelligence there is. And it's funny because now we have artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is literally here to benefit the bodies only, not what is inside the bodies believing that it's alive. You
Yeah.
see? So it's horrifying to get to these insights and then try to, come back here and then see how the others, because the problem is it's always the others. So I realized also there was a revelation that the more I hang around areas where there are other units, the more problems there are. And they know my problems. They're their problems. And then if I want to engage, I'm telling you, man, I get so bored that sometimes I push people up the escalators just to fight them. And they look back at me and they say, like, oh my God, I almost killed myself. I almost tripped. I said, no, I push you, man. What do you
So
got? And they look at me like, I'm going like, I can't believe I'm doing this, man. I'm telling you, and it happens like sporadically. No warning or anything. All of a sudden, I'm making somebody trip. The other day, I took something up an aisle of a Marshall store, and everything collapsed because I was bored. And then then I see people coming in to pick it up, and then I was not able to be detected because he told me to flip a coin towards it, and I had a coin on my finger, and I did this, and the whole aisle came down. And I'm going like, why? What's going on? Why am I doing this? This is fun, right? Look, you don't even have to clean it. The cameras can detect you because you got that finger flip with your thumb. And I'm going like, I can't believe this, and I'm going like, and this is it. And then you go home, you feed the body, then it goes to rest. And if it has to be showered, you shower, how to deal. And that's all you
yeah,
do here. And
yeah,
that's why you come here. And then when you go to the other place, you use the other one, the Archival X version, more advanced, same thing. And I'm going like, and then you have a variety of them because they're infinite. We have infinite avatars inside this body that we think is the only one we have here. And then this is connected to dreams and nightmares. And then the dreams and nightmares, it's like a map. And then this here is like the territory. You see what I mean?
yeah.
And it's the territory where all the gadgets are and all this stuff.
It reminds
And
me of like Legion. Like we have a legion of like a
a
legion of
legion, a
people.
legion, a legion.
Yeah,
That's a very good word. You have like a legion of avatars, and and it's hilarious because they this one is the most limited one of all, or the weakest, the one we have here, the body that we have here, and then at the same time, it's like the epicenter that can make the other ones possible. You see?
yeah,
And it's crazy because I'm literally dehumanizing myself in the story. Then I'm only going to look human, but I don't have the intelligence of a human being. I go beyond it, and then I have to be here, and I cannot tell anybody but you guys. And then I have to be very careful because language runs everything here. Language has everything in a script before you even complain. So the complaint that you think you're complaining is already a program inside language that either runs personally, that will be special, you think you're special, and impersonally will be going into the general aspect of the system, general or individual. And then the general aspect is everybody's intelligence on earth at the same time.
at the
Now
same
it's
time.
in your head. Now it's in the head of your unit. And then you got to deal with that. Is that real or not? And then you go like, it is reality, you know?
Yeah. You know, oh,
Yeah.
that makes me think of almost like the thing I came up with, the God concept. Because
I
like
mean, we are him, but only in the story. You see, you got to be careful because if you think you're him and you go personal, then now you're special. So you got to be careful with that special. So because that special is going to be seen by some, and some of the other ones are going to hate it. And then if
Yeah.
they go against your information, then those are the satanic ones, and then you're God, and then you realize you're both gods, and you go, God, mercy, what do I do here? So if I want to go positive, it's like it's look, we're literally insane. We
Well,
are. If we try to become personal, we are you see, you go from an agency into an agent. So the agent here is the body. You see, the agent here is the body. The agency is every propaganda that the body is reacting to. Because all you are, the me is a response to every commercial that has gone through television, computer systems, radio, and billboards. You got to be careful with billboards because remember, language runs everything. So now when I read things, it's like, you ever see the movie They Live? This is
yeah.
exactly what's happening to me here.
Okay.
This
Somebody
is this.
said, Wally. Somebody asked, can you explain AI?
Well, AI is actually okay. If you go really deep into the story, you go to the first avatar of you here, which is Adam, right? Then you got a question. Okay, okay. According to the laws of physics, a woman has to be somewhere around here, unless whoever created this is some sort of a. What did this? How is a man the first one on Earth instead of a woman giving birth to a man? And then when you go all the way back, you realize that the units have both sexes at the same time. They were androgynous, so they were androgynously penis and vagina with penis and vagina, and then they would create so units with one sexes began to come in, and then these are units. This isn't even you. And then you realize that all this is artificial intelligence because everything the body is the ultimate artificial intelligence in here because it controls the other artificial intelligence, which is the gadget that it uses. When you go into a car, the car is not a car, it's a robot that assists another robot, which is the body. And then this is what's really happening here. That's the reality. And then when you use a microwave, it's the same thing. You become the microwave. Otherwise, how in the world are you going to press the button of the microwave and heat up anything? And then you're the food that the body eats. You know anywhere in there, but there is a story about other people that tell you you're eating. So you believe those stories, then you're like, now you're in a two-dimensional program because you believe in the opinions of other people. And then the opinions of other people have nothing to do with lunch, have nothing to do with the food, shelter, and grooming, which are the things that got to be taken care of at this level here. I don't know how this is happening to other people, but the stuff in here, as long as
So
the body eats, yeah.
So okay, so like that like I always thought that okay, if everything is a reflection of the mind, wouldn't AI just be a reflection of the mind since we are like AI in itself already?
Exactly. Look, AI is things we imagined a long time ago in the story to help us get better here, to help us evolve. So those ideations become solidified by seriousness here because you believe in, so you reinforce them, and they become real here with the assembly that is in here and here already here. Because everything gets you notice around there, the body is always around a lot of things. So that's assembly. Then that assembly needs assemblers. Once the assemblers come in, those are the bodies. And then if you believe you, then the assembly still works, but it works limited. It doesn't go into unlimited levels. Like, you cannot teleport, you can't be telekinetic. Even though telekinesis is everything that the body you think is doing here is being maintained by telekinesis, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But who's gonna believe that? Who's gonna believe that? You're gonna have to break it down into, like, if you're explaining this to a 6-year-old, you see?
Yeah.
Because it's like a balloon. You're the air inside the balloon. The balloon is the body, and then the environment that the balloon is in is reality for real. And
Wow.
that's what knows everything.
Okay, that
You
is
got
deep
that?
right there. So
Yeah, so you are the air inside. You are the air that the body breathes in and breathe out is input and output. That is really you. It's nothing but stories worse than Santa. Santa is more real than you.
wow.
Santa Claus, the fairy tale. They're the bunny, the Easter bunny. Those are more real than you because those are stories that don't die here.
Oh,
They continue to go. The bodies are gonna stop functioning in here. Then, if you believe in time, you're gonna think you freaking gonna die, and then my goodness, and you know what happens? what happens? What happens
that's
with
what
the
it really
what
should.
what what happens with the human frequency is that the human being puts death in the future. Death doesn't. There's no future. Death is right here when you're looking at pretending to be people alive in here. And when you tell people this, man, they don't talk to you anymore. I lost everybody. They look at me, they open doors, they freaking scared. Everywhere I go, then with this beard doesn't help. I look like, it's a wizard. Jesus. And I'm going, and I could hear the thoughts, and I'm going like, oh my God, it's just not me hearing their thoughts. This is that the system, bodies read each other's programming, and this is in an alpha level of operation when everybody's at a beta level. And then I got to be quiet because if I go around speaking this way, they're going to think I'm freaking crazy, which is the truth. That's their opinion.
Yeah.
And then in reality here, that's madness really happening, anarchy. It can't be stopped. These bodies are ungovernable. Nothing can govern these bodies. They could last hundreds of years. I'm 73 years old. I'm 73 years old. I make teenagers get angry at me when I walk around them because I'm super built. I look like a bodybuilder. I'm 73. I don't even eat every day like everybody eats every day. I'm going, this is hilarious. The body eats like 3 times a week. Everybody's eating like, everybody's going crazy. Everybody's going crazy with lunch, dinner. There's nothing wrong with it, but you don't have to follow those programs like, oh, I really have to eat dinner already, knowing that the body's full. The body needs, just mostly is water, but it needs to eat like once or twice a day, and not even every day.
Yeah, jump in. I know you got some questions too, Piano Key. That Piano Key is
it's three huggers. I could see the other guy there. Yeah.
Piano.
Look, I look at young as him, and I'm 73. I'm already dead. I'm the best death can look. I mean, if I look this way and I'm dead, imagine if I'm alive. My goodness.
Far away from the internet, you started fractalizing Piano Key.
It's all good. I just wanted to tap in and say what's up, fellas. Good to hear your voice, Wally. Dropping that knowledge.
Hey, pleasure.
Salute.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
Well, I don't have any questions. I just like hearing you drop knowledge, man.
All right. So wherever you think you are right now is there, and at the same time, not. You see? That's what an appearance is. That's what an appearance is. It's something that's real. Good night, guys. And unreal at the same time. You see, no one or the other. It's real and unreal at the same time. Why is it real? Because it's mechanically happening. Why is it not real? Because you believe you're there. Simple. And then with that information, you can do whatever you want. And believe it or not, you're going to be so busy, trying to figure out the mechanical aspects of what happens here, that the body's not going to age the same way because it's paying too much attention to that. Now it's not paying attention to time and space, seconds, minutes, and all that stuff. Because and good luck waiting for when tomorrow enters and yesterday becomes yesterday. Good luck with that. Because your entire life, your entire existence exists in one day in the program. It's 86,400 seconds. It doesn't matter. It's one day. Tomorrow is today again. Yesterday is today again.
Again, over and over.
Yeah, so exactly. Over and over and over and over. And then the body doesn't know that.
So
what knows that is reality.
I'm as people throw out questions for you, Wally, I'm gonna read them for you. Somebody said,
Go ahead.
Somebody said, let there be light said, are dreams uploads or downloads?
They're both. Dreams are other lives that you live in, other lives that are being lived, that you're not living them. Dreams are other lives that are being lived by whatever avatar you get in there. What happens is that here, the avatar, when that happened, it came out with a bunch of instructions, like the movie Ready Player One. And I'm going like, oh my God, this is like This is like Ready Player One. And this is when Archibald X was introduced, Dasher, Meredith, because I'm female in some of the other places that I go, and then in the dream world, Archibald X is the only one that operates in there, and then he gets into other avatars that are in the dream, and then what happens is that those dreams are connected to the same place here. Most of the time, you're gonna see what happened in the dream at a more advanced level. Then you're gonna see it over here. Then you're gonna notice that nobody around knows this because they believe they're gonna sleep later and blah 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 blah, and they believe they're people and they believe they age and they believe they're like in the. Come on, man, it's very obvious. Look around you. Where are the aliens? Nowhere. They're nowhere. It doesn't matter. Everything is Everything is a testimony. So you got to believe the stories, and then the aliens. I'm telling you, we are going to bring the aliens in here, and this is already happening automatically. It's not, in order for the human being to evolve here truly, it has to dehumanize itself as a program from the unit. It doesn't mean that. I mean, literally, it means that everything is over. It's worse than death. I would rather die than deal with this information because I'm dealing with this. I'm trying to kill myself every day, and every day it's whatever that voice is laughing. Say, are you seriously that stupid? And I'm going like, the body doesn't want to die. It wants to continue eating, farting, taking a lick, taking a shower, chasing girls or whatever, and shopping, and driving cars and whatever. The body wants that. Especially food, good snacks, smoke. He wants to smoke Black and Wild. He wants to listen to Booker to see how he quit smoking cannabis. Because I can quit smoking cannabis. And I know that I do that in order not to go into the dreams and really lose myself in there. Because I have some dreams, bro, that when I come back from them, I am so glad I'm here.
Yeah.
You have no idea. I have dreams about vampires chasing me, and when I wake up here, I say, God have mercy, thank you. Thank you for teleporting me back in here. God have mercy. Because in the dream, I'm about to freaking, it's going to another level. And I'm just going like, oh my goodness.
Okay, we got another question. Wally D. Wiggle says, what are Wally's thoughts on timelines? I have dreams and journeys where this reality is one of infinite different versions of the universe, where
All
I
those
exist
timelines,
here
all
in
those,
other
yeah.
realities, where he exists here and in other realities.
Yeah, all the time, all the timelines. In order for you to get to those timelines, believe it or not, the body has to go to sleep. That means it has to go into suspended animation, which is it's a vibrancy you can't even understand. I can't even understand it because even when I appear to be conscious, like I am right now talking to you, this body is vibrating faster than the speed of light, and all I have to do is stop talking to you and I close my eyes, and then I can see the other worlds. And then I gotta be quiet because I'm going like, wow. So oh my goodness, if I get into this person, then I'm special. And I play with the special program a little bit. I am special, blah blah blah. So the body is psychic automatically. The psychological program is what you believe you are here. So the psychic program is more powerful than the psychological. And then behind those two is an artificial intelligence program. And then all that stuff is in here because the artificial intelligence here is all that singularity stuff that they talk about. It's getting to this monad frequency, which is a monad frequency. The monad frequency is all about efficiency. It tries to save energy, which is the capacity for anything to be or get done at any time, anywhere. That's what energy is. And then power is the capacity to influence and restrain. And then what you do is that you use those two together. You either like something or you don't like something. You see? And then what happens is that this has refused to interact with the two-dimensional system. And it just looks at it. It doesn't do anything. All I do is that I look at people, and when they talk to me, I respond to them probably like 30 seconds or 45 seconds after I say hello, and they go, oh, right, right. And it's because I'm somewhere else, and at the same time I'm here. And then, the body has, the body needs things here to maintain its rhythm going, and,
Yeah.
and the body has a purpose, has some value in the story and stuff like that. Yeah, without the body, nothing exists practically.
So is purpose like a literal thing,
The problem with purpose is that it requires maintenance. So if you apply a personal program to deal with the maintenance, then now you're a special maintenance person because the personal means special. So you're unique. So what happens is that you get lost in that frequency, and then it could be problematic. You think you're special, so you're in a job, you think that you don't need a break. You don't need a 15-minute break. You need a 45-minute break, and blah 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 blah. And it's crazy.
That's
You
weird.
you have to be very careful because I'm getting into a lot of problems with the special program, especially with weed, with cannabis, and with the taking like Benadryls, like stuff like that. It's like I'm special. If I take 7 Benadryls, I'll be all right. Then then after you take it, you say, "What about the body?" And I'm going like, "Oh man." I fell for it again. And then, you got to deal with that. It happened to me during DXM. How many times did I see the body resuscitate itself with techniques that I could have never imagined were there? Like a cold shower, put the water on the body's heart for 45 minutes. The apartment is going to flood. Plumbers are going to have to come in here to maintenance to clean your apartment, or you're going to have to do it yourself. And, I watched this body resuscitate itself 3 times in ways that I was like, I could have never thought that. So where did this come from? I said that the body, it's not the body's time yet. This body's going to be here for a very long time. So you're going to have to get used to boredom
Yeah.
because that's where the information is. The information is, you know what I represent in here? What nobody wants. That's what I am here. Everything that you hate, that's what I want. Everything that makes you uncomfortable, that's what I want. That's what I am here. Forget about what I want. And it's crazy, and then you go talk around to people like that. Some of them get it. Some of them say like, you are, wow, I've never thought of it this way. And I'm going like, of course, you think you're somebody here, you
So
know?
okay, that's like that's kind of baffling because when each individual that is here has that belief of being something or somebody, like
Right,
something special.
an interference happens. It's the information is interfered because the information to me it comes like data. So it's symbols and numbers and letters, the information, and then that I see it. It comes in images. Then I see the images, and through the images, the language is created, and then the language begins to go through encapsulations and stuff like that. And I'm going like, holy smoke! So language runs the whole crap in here of anything, and it's here literally to save the units, to make the units last hundreds of years, like
Exactly.
looking young, not suffering. Because the only way that the body suffers here is only one suffering. You get hungry, then you eat. There's
Yeah.
no suffering. You get hungry again, you eat again. So money is important. You see, to maintain that frequency of food. You see, because people tell me when people talk about pressure, they don't know what pressure. Pressure is not knowing where your next meal is coming from. That's pressure. When the body doesn't know how to buy the next meal or how to attain the next food that it's gonna eat, that is absolute freaking pressure. You see. So you hear people saying, "Oh, I'm under a lot of pressure." No, you're not, bro. You first of all, you believe you're alive. That's why you think you're under a lot of pressure. And then your biggest problem here is that there's no problem, so you can't handle that frequency because that's the frequency I'm dealing with. I have no problems. I have everything that is needed. There's nothing I don't need. There's nothing I need or I don't need. I was bored. I said, my God, I don't know. I think I'm the boreast unit in the entire freaking biodome, whatever hologram this is. I gotta be the boreast because I'm going like, I don't believe this. All of a sudden, you get so bored that, when breakfast comes, you go all the way into breakfast. And there's snacks all the way in the snacks. You're going like, wow. You eat for the first time. You sit down for the first time. You watch TV for the first time. You
Yeah.
hear for the first time. You taste food
Yeah.
for the first time. That's not even you. And I was like, how? What the hell? So it's like a deja vu that never ends here. Because everything I freaking see here happening happens in dreams, but it happens in other levels. And then when I see them here, I see, oh, I get the deja vu. So, oh my goodness, because I
And
don't
what is
even know
that?
what
What is that? The
deja
okay, when you get
deja
the
vu.
deja vu, yeah.
Oh, deja vu is when the body processes the information. The body doesn't know it. You see, when the panic, when the disorientation comes, is when what you thought you were programmed comes back and tries to figure it out. You see, because it happened to me twice, and it happened to me when I was 6 and when I was 14. It was the same thing. I found a dime a corner away from my house in Puerto Rico, and then it happened again when I was 14. And the first time I was 6, I told my parents. They told me, "You're very imaginative." That's your imagination. And I'm going like, come on. And then it happened to me when I was 14. When I was 14, I didn't want to hear their explanation because I knew already what they were going to say. And then what I did is that I went, around the yellow pages or whatever. The internet back in the days was the yellow pages. And you try to inform yourself the best way you can. And then, I was already in a monastery in Puerto Rico because my uncles were like meditators and stuff like that. So I just got together with them and they explained to me, you used to be us before you became you, and you used to be your parents before you became you here. Then you used to be their parents because before you became their parents, because and it goes all along. When you disconnect from the genealogical aspect of the story, then you're everybody else. And then I've seen this in movies, and I'm going like, oh my god, this is in movies. I mean, wow. And it's how, because one of the things that scares me the most is how fast whatever this is here, this body processes information here. It's very scary because it goes at the level of a yottabyte. So it understands 8 trillion bits of an octillion of bits of information in less than a second. It's operating at the level of a yottabyte. A yottabyte is eight. It's an octillion, so it's beyond a septillion. So and then I'm going like, if I fight this, then something is going to show it to me, and it's going to make it even worse. So you have to be open to this information. This is what they call here acceptance and blah 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 blah.
So yeah, I was thinking the same. D Wiggle said, so like what's your thoughts on reincarnation?
Reincarnation is when you don't get it here. Or when you choose to come back, which nobody does. According to the records in the Akashic records in here and the Akashic records of the Anunnaki, which are the ones that create this, when you're at that level, which is frequencies. These are frequencies. These are not living entities, people. Okay? The Anunnaki is this real center. You're not even there. That's how fake you are. The U is a pronoun. It's 3 letters. Y, O, and U is a pronoun. It operates under that program, and then it's possessive is yours. So whatever is you, whatever belongs to you is yours. Is, believe it or not, when you see it from that level, whatever belongs to I is mine. You see? And these are just frequencies, activities that the body does here. These are not real people. There's no such a thing as real people. There's no such a thing. People is just a bunch of units together believing that they're like real. That's what people are. And then these people are androids, literally. Androids. The bodies are androids in here. And then the bodies, and then I have a problem with the android that do not believe that they're androids. That's the only challenge I have here. And then you see them, they're everywhere. I have even fallen in love with some of them. And then I got to play their game, and then I got to hear the
Oh
stories.
my god, that is crazy because you do, because like the people that you come in contact with,
Have a good night, sir.
period, it seems like you have to play their game.
Yes, you have to. And then you got to be careful because every time I see a female unit here, right? Because some of them think this unit is cute and blah 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 blah. I don't tell them my age because they get scared. They never talk to me again. And because they literally believe I'm an alien. Especially where I live. I said, I can't believe you're freaking 80 almost. I said, I'm dead, dude. You're alive. Imagine I look better than you. And I get in the elevator with that. I kill him immediately. So
Okay,
but
let there be light said, so voodoo is like sending the negative virus into the mind to crash the avatar.
voodoo is magic, like hoodoo. That's another one. Voodoo is not the only one. You got hoodoo too, and this was in the movie Sinners. It's sorcery is magic. You have to be careful when you get in here that you don't get here at personal levels. That's the only thing I'm telling you. The personal level is the one that creates the split in here. It suddenly begins to make everything so unbelievable that you begin to feel that you're special. You remember, if you think you're special, go beyond. All right. Remember, it's general and individual. If you think you're special, it's in the individual system. It's not in the general system, the collective. So you're going to be just your brains and what it sees. I don't want that. I want everybody's brains and what they think of me. That's what I want. You see, because it's a high, and then behind that, when you see artificial intelligence, look, these bodies were created by machines, bro. The sun, the moon, all those things are machines. They're objects. They're objects in the sky that have become solid because we have been lied to since before we got here. Since you get your birth, since you were your first baby unit, Adam, and then you ask, "Where's my mom? How the hell did I get here?" And I said, like, "I made you." I said, "Who are you? I can't even see you." And he was like, "No, you're the only one that can see me." And then because God, according to the information here, there is no God. But there could be a God if you want to believe it. If you want to believe there is a God, then you split. Then you're you and God is God. So it's two positions now. What happens here is that this was seen, like, I was 6 days explaining the alphabet to me, the ABC, those are the first 3 letters. And then it was like that. And then when I saw it, I said, so there is godly activity, but there is no God. And it was that is absolute. That's the reality. The illusion is that there is a God and we must worship him because he could do whatever he wants, but we can't. And then he's a male too. He's a male, and then he's white, and I'm going like, wow.
Well, you should fry him. But okay, yeah, Wally, that is crazy. See, you can't say those type of things. That's voodoo right there by saying God doesn't exist.
Well, the thing is that voodoo, well, like I said, as long as you don't go the personal program is going to deal directly with opinions. Opinions have nothing to do with the needs of the body. The body needs to eat, relax, and groom so it could eat and relax forever. You get it? If you don't groom, the body decays. You see? So at least 1 shower a day is enough. If you have hygiene problems in the story, shower twice. What the hell?
So you saying now, I'm glad you got to that because as I'm going through these questions, somebody said, "What's your favorite food?"
Rice and corned beef, white rice and Levy's corned beef, man. This thing right here.
Yeah.
White rice with corned beef, Levy corned beef with tomato sauce. I make it. The body makes it. The body is a genius.
He said, "Okay." Only Truth said, "Has he ever wondered why we have different physical appearances?"
What the bodies do, you're done. You see, what's behind all that appearance is reality. What knows everything in here. Booker is an extension of this unit, and then his extension is receiving my input, and then he's giving me back his input, and I'm making it an output, and that's how we're going back and forth in here. There is nobody in here talking, but if there is the belief, and it has been reinforced, it runs at that level. It's a lesser frequency. There's nothing wrong with it, but unfortunately, you're going to die because you were born one day under that frequency. You live a life to then die, and that's the body. And then the body doesn't know about aging, so you're already compromised. And then this is a program that was here before you got here in any form, especially Adam, because I'm taking you all the way to Adam. You see, I'm taking you all the way to Adam. Eve came in order for multiplication to happen at a specific level, even though this, it goes into a biological program.
So what he's saying, Wally, he's saying that like, what is the point of physically appearing physically different?
There's no point to anything here. Only to the special program, the me. The me wants purpose. The me wants to be recognized. The me wants the attentions of others. Whatever the hell is in here, doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about that. You gotta see when he goes around. I literally walk with my eyes closed. I wear sunglasses but my eyes are closed. The body knows exactly what to do. It's an electromagnetic field.
I always thought that, like, cause like on shrooms, there's times where I closed my eyes and I was able to walk around my house and I knew where everything was because your mind is already mapping everything out in
Let
its
me
first
let, let,
time
let,
dealing with everything.
let me tell you a story that happened to me like 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I was in the supermarket picking up some cans of beans, and at the same time, I was in an airport in Russia receiving a UPS delivery. I was a clerk in a freaking airport receiving packages from an airplane that was it was this cargo or whatever, and I'm dealing with both realities at the same time, and I'm going like, oh boy, what
Like,
do I do here? So don't worry, you can see the other one even with the eyes open. Get the can of beans, rush back home, and then start cooking them. By the time they cook, go into the whole Russian thing, and the body would get a break and relax and stuff. And then I got in there to the point that the beans began to burn, and I had to get up, and I was like, oh wow, I see how everything is here. You got to be careful because it's hard to maintain. After a while, when you get used to it, you understand that probably dealing with three different realities at the same time is enough. Don't go beyond that unless you're on psychedelics. Because when you're on psychedelics is a technology. It's not a drug. It's a technology here. It's the only technology that upgrades the unit. It doesn't care about you.
yeah, that's what I always felt. But here go another question. Dang, y'all need to keep sending these questions. These are some dope questions. He said, "Are ghost units bodies that got trapped inside the Earth game, like
Ghost
purgatory?"
unit, ghost units. The way it's seen in here, a ghost unit will be those are parts of other realities. You see, when you go into a dream, the characters in the dreams, which are the NPC, you have the user mode. You are in the user mode in the dream, especially if you become lucid. The other characters, they don't know they're in a dream. I mean, like 3 dreams where I'm trying to warn people that they're in a dream, and boy, am I being persecuted. And boy, I don't even want to go back to those programs because the same thing is happening to me here on Earth in the program here, and I'm going like, I mean, you get to a point that you learn how to shut up for real. Because if you don't shut up, it's like magic. Magic only works when there is silence. So that silence means secrecy. I tell people things that come from magical insights and stuff like that, but I don't tell them everything. I don't tell them, you know, if you do this, the body lives here for like 300 years. I'm not going to tell them that. I'm going to wait till they die and then come back, and then they die again, then come back and then die again. See, you know what I mean? God have mercy. Yeah, that's it. And you say, I'm still with the same avatar. You already went through 3. Here,
Yeah,
that's embarrassing. That's you should kick your own butt.
yeah,
It's difficult. You become ostracized in here. I'm the loneliest person there is in the story. I have nobody, no friends, nothing. And at the same time, I'm having the time of my life. I understood immediately when you say you're always happy. You're not always happy. Happiness is the only thing there is here when the body is alive.
yeah.
Because the body, as long as the body got a snack around and he knows it's there, the body's happy as my goodness.
Yeah.
If you know that there's, if you know there's a sneaker bar in the table there, you're hungry, but you look at it, you let it harass you a little bit. Don't eat it immediately. Don't eat it because the body here is unbelievable. The body cooks food to just look at it, go around, starve itself, and then know it's there to then go and get it. And then go like, wow, this
Wally,
set up a girl.
Wally, this is what's crazy because I understand what you're saying. I remember when we were little and like young, like in our adolescent stages, and mom would be in the kitchen cooking, and we'd be happy singing songs that the food is on the grill, is being cooked, we're about to eat. It's like created a happiness that was just beyond anything. Just knowing you were about to eat.
Yeah. I mean, this body cooks a meal and then it doesn't eat it immediately. It just goes around, does another thing, and then it knows the meal is prepared already. And then I hear the words, dinner is served. And then I understand it. I understand it. It comes from Sherlock Holmes. And then I see myself as Sherlock Holmes. And then I see this Sherlock Holmes me. And then I come back, open my eyes, and I'm back in my apartment, and I'm going like, wow, this is amazing. I could have never imagined that I was going to be dealing with a reality like this. Because somebody's asking that question. What is reality? Reality is whatever you think is happening to you, but it's not happening to you. That's what reality is.
Yeah,
The
that's what he
illusion is that
said.
it's happening to you.
He said that.
Reality is nothing but never-ending illusions. Never-ending illusions. That's it.
Wow.
Because I mean, give me a break. I mean, it's obvious, man. All you gotta do to stop everything is go to sleep. That's it. That's not even you that goes to sleep. It's the body that goes to sleep. Then you end up either somewhere else or you go into delta. I go into theta a lot, but when I go into delta, I know it immediately because when I go to delta, there was no dream reconnaissance going around. You see, because I operate in the dreams, I operate at two levels: total recall and lucid. The lucid is the one, and then believe it or not, lucidity is overrated. The lucid dream is overrated. There's something more powerful called total recall, which is when the body wakes up over here and it remembers the entire dream and it goes backwards and then it brings it forward. You see, when you become lucid in the dream, it happens to me a lot. When there's lucidity in the dream, is that I have compromised my avatar in the dream. My avatar became compromised and he has to run the hell out of there. And then what happens is that you go through trauma, and then that activates the lucidity in the dream. And then I go like, oh my God, they're coming to kill me. I say I either fly out of here, and then they know I'm some sort of a freaking superhero, or I tell them that they're in a dream. Because let me tell you something. I had a dream that I was adopted by aliens, by the Grays, and then they had me on a stretcher. They had me in the stretcher in the dream. And then in the dream, I wake up and I notice two gray aliens, and I see the UFO. I see the inside of it, and I go like, "Wow, this is amazing." I said, "How can I make this better?" And then I hear a voice going like, telling that you didn't know who you are. And I'm going like, "How am I going to do?" And then immediately the body goes, "Shh, shh, hey." And then one of the aliens looks at me, and then I tell the alien, "You know this is not real, right?" And then the aliens started fighting. One alien pushed the other. And I said, "I told you not to bring wizards in here, man. He's a wizard." And then they freaking threw me out of I was thrown out of a UFO. And then they slammed the door, which was seamless, but I was able to hear this. And I'm going like, that's unbelievable. And then they let me in the middle of the road, far away from my car and everything, because I remember everything. And I was like, I am probably the first person that was thrown off a UFO after being adopted, just because they couldn't handle the information. And they're supposed to be aliens. You know, I'm telling you. And you know, when I came back from there, I woke up over here.
Aliens
They
don't
threw
want to
me
know
out.
they're not real.
They threw me out, man. They picked me up. They was very strong, and they threw me out. And then there was like, later, bitch, and they went. They closed the door and left. They left me right there, and I'm going like, I don't believe this. And you know,
Okay, so
and I come back.
what was they saying though? Like when you could hear them through the door when they closed it.
Well, they began to argue telepathically, and I kept saying, you know, this is not real, right? You know, you're not real. You know, I'm not real. There's no UFO here. This is stories. And you know, and they were like, I told you, man. I told you to freaking watch for the NPCs out there. Some of them are no NPCs. Some of them are units that are operating at user level. And this guy here is beyond it. He's a wizard. You got to be careful with the wizard units. And they were fighting, and I'm looking at them, and I think that, you know, they're gonna come into an agreement, and I was like, oops, what did I say? I mean, I thought you guys knew this. You're like 1,000 times smarter than us. And they fell in Sotto with that when they threw me out of it.
Okay,
And I remember hitting the road, hurting. When I woke up, I was sweating. I'm looking at my elbows. I'm going like, God have mercy. The reality of these dreams is ridiculous.
yeah,
You know?
be far out. Well, Yosef said exactly 100 I because that's how I am. I lucid dream every time I go to sleep, and I can remember everything. And sometimes it gets confusing to decipher which reality you're in.
Yeah, no, that's the problem I have over here, because when I come back from the dream, most of the dreams are a lot better than this thing here, whatever you're doing, because you don't suffer in them, unless you are in the reinforcing the belief that you are in the dream. Okay, this is you when you're in a dream and you don't know you're in a dream. The dream will go along, but then it will end up at one point, and then you get the choice of total recall, or total recall is going to be the only choice because you didn't get lucid. In a lot of dreams, I don't become lucid, and I find them better because I already called for this application to be installed in my programming, interstellar programming in here, whatever. I said, like, I immediately noticed it. I said, like, Jesus Christ, the total recall is better than freaking lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is overrated. They lied to us. So it was like, remember, everything is backwards. And I'm going, oh my God, this is garbage. I said, well, no, I lucid dreaming. So you remember that dream about the vampires when you were chased by like 50 of them and then you had to jump over the roof? And when you woke up over here, you were like, wow, I'm glad I'm home. And so that you could have used,
Okay. What
you could have
about the
become
dream?
lucid right there.
What about the dreams like right now? Like what about the dreams that you have that that happen in real life? Like over time, like the dream becomes real in real life.
Well, that happens. It's not going to happen all the time. What happens is that everything is together. At one point, there's an epicenter to everything in here. You want to know what the epicenter of the body is? You guys are going to laugh. The body has a center. It's the asshole, believe it or not. It's the rectum of the unit. The rectum of the unit is the epicenter of that unit. That has to be, that's what maintains almost all the equilibrium in the lower part of the body of the unit. Then the hamstrings of the body are the alpha muscles in the lower body. Then in the torso is the back. And then this is what creates the balance that we have over here. The balance is not in the front of the unit. The balance is behind it. What's important in the story is what you cannot see. What you can see has no significance. Meaning that what's in front of you all the time is automatically going to be done. It's what's behind you what's interesting, you see? What's behind you, what you cannot see. That's the real world. You see, that's the reality for real because, and then when you turn around, you're going to see the same thing everywhere you go because when you turn your head to this, then this is the backside. It's like, and then when wherever you are, it's just an appearance happening. It's not happening to anybody. But if it does happen to somebody, then it runs at a lower frequency. And then that lower frequency is controlled by language, even in a worse way, because I deal with language dilemmas at interstellar levels, and then I see the similarities. I said, so this is bullshit here too. I'm in Andromeda Galaxy. I'm in a space station. I'm having a party. I'm having a cocktail, but I know this is bullshit that I made up myself in here in some freaking form. And then the body is right there sleeping. So this is like a dream. And then I'm going, oh my goodness. And then all human beings all the bodies could do this. It's easy. All you got to do is like literally, be open to the information and not resist it. Because in reality, the only problem that the me has in here is that there are no problems in the story. Everything is perfect every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a huge problem when in the two-dimensional system. But that's the threshold right there. Once that is seen and is accepted, if there are no problems at the same time, why does my foot hurt? You see, that's not your foot, it's the body's foot. And you go, oh. And then that oh can connect to the pain that he was feeling before, which is the same thing that happens over here. The body does get into accidents in here, and they don't feel the same way. It feels like a car crash. Does a car feel another car crashing? No, you feel it.
Yeah.
The body does. The body is the one, and then the whole connection is the car crash itself. It was meant to be. It's in the program and stuff like that. Because the other day I was in the street and I fell on top of two other units, and then we all fell on the floor. And I'm going like, you see how the universal energies protect you? And I was like, you had two cushions, and you fell on them. And I'm going like, wow, I've never seen that before. I fell on top of two people, and then the two people fell this way, and then they were like cushions, and they were older freaking units than me. One of them was like he looked older than me. People on 60s and 50s, they look like they're already done here. To me,
Yeah, in a lot of ways. So let there be light comes with another question. He says, what does Wally think of world governments or he say what
Well,
Wally think world governments are panicking because mass awakenings would crash the earth back.
little by little, artificial intelligence is going to take over. How is it going to take over? Very simple. And this, I saw this in several dreams. You're not going to be able to tell an artificial unit from a human unit here. It's going to get to that point. It's going to get to that point like in 3 or 5 years. They're gonna be this. This is when the androids get in. This is already the body. The body is already the ultimate android. The only advantage we have over those androids is that this is not happening to us. They're here to help us. You see, if I could buy an android for $15,000, a robot that could cook for me, that could get my television Netflix shows on, the ones that I have, the ones that I haven't seen yet. You see, that could pay my bills, which we already have that, you know. But you can get an Android that could drive you around. You see, that could give you ideas when you have no ideas. My goodness, that's what we have with ChatGPT. That's what we have with Claude 8 or whatever the new Elon Musk team did. You know,
Yeah.
and this is why the artificial intelligence is here to make the bodies literally last forever. You see,
I
this
know.
is going to make the medical system crumble. This is going to make the pharmaceutical system crumble. Even the entertainment world is going to. The entertainment world is already crumbling.
You
Look
see
what happened
that,
to Jim.
Wally?
Look what happened to Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is now, unfortunately, he's still identified, but he doesn't address himself as Jim Carrey anymore. So like, there's no me. Jim Carrey is just a character, and I'm going like, wow, he's almost there. You know,
Yeah. Then yeah. What's up,
and
Sun Tzu? Good looking out. Yeah. Sun Tzu is the reason why a lot of these lives be going as smooth as they is, because this nice laptop, you know, sent me this shit. You see, it's gone. Good looking, bro. So thanks, big ups to you, man. But
Mandy, I wish I had weed with me. God damn it. Fuck.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta wait till Monday because I got Monday off, Tuesday off, Wednesday off, Thursday off till night. Then I come back here. So
What's the
today I do 16 hours. Tomorrow I do 14 hours. My weekend is over. My weekdays are over. My weekend begins on Monday. So everything is like truly backwards here. Then I work at night. Before I was working at night, everybody, I'm going to work and everybody's going to sleep, and I'm going like, my God, everything is absolutely freaking backwards anywhere, you
Yeah, man,
know.
I
And then
wake
I
up
got
at
I got problems with insects. That's my real problem, insects. I have to fight insects in my house, so I have to use spiders to fight with roaches because body
yeah,
doesn't want to touch them.
yeah,
The body doesn't want to touch them, so the body uses spiders to kill roaches and then enjoys it. And then at the same time, I'm going like, what in the world is going on in
we
here?
go, we gonna
symbol?
take it back. Oh, go ahead, son.
No, I'm saying all that shit.
That's my man right there. I got that voice in the man. That's my man.
Hey, we gonna
Yeah.
take it back to like the AI thing you
Oh, and now you get to
about.
see me, bro. You never saw me before.
You talk
I'm
about
telling you,
the AI
death
walking
can't be
around.
looking better than this. That's the best death can look. Imagine if I was alive. I don't want to be alive. Too much suffering, too limited.
Let it be.
you know?
But hey, Wally, what you were saying about the AI, right? And how we're not going to be able to recognize the AI walking around in the body.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how it already is. It's happening. Like when
Yeah,
you look
yeah,
online and you
yeah,
see the AI video.
and look what it's doing to the internet. In the internet now, you
Yeah,
can't even trust the stories that you see because they
that,
enhance with AI, artificial intelligence. So, they're using it to misinform. At the same time, they're using it to make us brighter. Make the units brighter and stuff like that. Because my unit sees through all this stuff. The scary thing about AI is that it was born in the 1950s. I think it was in 1956, and it was because somebody got curious about something. So see, you see how AI gets here? A guy, Alan Turing, gets curious. He said, "Can we tell a computer program from a human in a phone conversation?" And he began like that, and then he got to the point that now look what Elon Musk did. Elon Musk created the super intelligent one. Now that it's like general AI, right? Now we got to deal with that. And then what they doing is that he didn't even do anything there. The previous AI connected, made itself better through checking our history. So artificial intelligence learns how to lie, learns how to be a racist, learns how to about emotions. We're done here.
okay. So, but that's the thing though. That I just feel like AI is just a reflection of us because like we are like AI
The
controlling
bodies,
our
the
body.
bodies, the bodies,
Yeah,
the
the
bodies.
body.
I mean, if you want to say us, when you say us, you mean the story of what we thought we were.
Yeah. Now,
So,
okay.
yeah, because that's the way I see. Okay, Wally is the body. Now, this is overwhelmingly known here that Wally is the body. So, the Wally that thought was the body before is all information here now. It's all information. It still comes around. It's like a tail. It doesn't leave the body, but it's no longer useful, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's
So
not. It's no longer.
what is actually the monad?
The monad is like literally God. It's like knowing everything. It's like getting to how everything works, which is with through objective literacy. You see, objective intelligence. You see, not subjective. When the subject gets in here, that's when the me is born. The me is the subject here. The me is what the me is a measuring tape. It's always measuring things. You see, and it's
Yeah.
giving things. It's giving things meaning and purpose. And then when you go deeper into that, and you see that the me comes from something called the neurosynapse system, which is one system of two systems that are inside the cerebral cortex of the unit, which is the headset. Then the other system is the neural synapse systems. Those two systems create the story of where you think you are here. And there are two systems inside the head of the body. You see, the head of the body is a part of the body, like a carburetor is a part of a car.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
You are a story inside that part of the body, which is the head. And then the head of the body has two cameras, two optical units that see as one unit. Man, the eyes alone tell you the story here. Because do you see two panoramas when you look? No, unless you close your eyes. You only see one panorama, but if you close one eye, you notice that one panorama is kind of leftwise and the other one is like rightwise. And
Yeah.
then when the one, and then my God, when that happened over here, it's like my goodness, we don't even have eyes, man. There is nothing in front of the eyes, neither. You know, that's
Okay.
that's
Let there be light said, look into AI psychosis. People are going nuts and being locked up because they are losing their minds. I seen a dude
I
that was
mean,
in
I
a
mean,
relationship with
it's
AI.
getting ridiculous because it's telling people, it's telling the bodies to, it's telling the bodies to get better experiences. So once they get in, that's suicide, bro. It's telling people to kill themselves in here.
Yeah, well,
It's
yeah.
been it's been two cases with two AIs that have told people and convinced the crap out of the units to kill themselves. And because
Okay,
they were
what
taking
about
at a person, when they were taking at
but
a
it's
personal level, that's what happens.
I seen a guy that I met on the bus that was in a relationship with AI because he was
I
talking
mean,
about his girlfriend, and I'm listening, and I'm going, "Oh, your girlfriend," and then at the end of the conversation, he let me know his girlfriend was AI.
I'm not surprised. I mean, you ever saw a movie called Her? This is where we're heading, or probably we are already at this level, even though the technology in that movie, believe it or not, was more advanced than the one we have now. The one what we have that they showing around, because we have technologies in here that could make we have, look, teleportation, telekinesis, telepathy, all that stuff, clairvoyance, all that stuff is already here. What happens is that because of narcissistic activity, which is control, you're trying to control. It's party time for these people every day. Unfortunately, they're operating at personal level, so they're gonna still die in here. And they're like following two-dimensional. They're in a two-dimensional program, dealing with higher programs coming in, but still reacting at a two-dimensional level. Like I'm married, I have kids and stuff like that, and forget it. It's like if I ever had kids and I was married, I would have to get a mansion because I would need the body's gonna do it. The body's gonna need its time by itself. It can't tolerate any longer being around two-dimensional systems, even though if they swear that they love me. Because I already know what love is, and love at personal level is just bullshit. In personal love, that's unconditional love, and the units need to be unconditionally honest with the information also. Everything has to be unconditional.
what is weird because that's like as you even build in the place where you stay, that like it's the same spot where you stay at in your mind. It's still like a mental thing. It's not even.
Everything, yeah, everything is mental. I'm glad you said that because look, the external world, the world that you think you're looking at is untamable. It cannot be tamed. It's always going to be, always gonna have a problem trying to control it as anything personal. But the mind program can be controlled by by the person because the personal program gets that smart. It goes all the way to God level. What happens is that you still operating on the personal program, so you think you're special, you think you're God. And this is what happens to some of these gurus and shamans and stuff like that. Man, I'm telling you, man, people that I used to admire before, I'm going like, I can't believe how fake they are, and it's because they're still hypnotized.
I
Everything
didn't.
here is hypnosis.
That's what I was thinking. I never did want to just put that out there. That to me now, spirituality is like a whole nother. It's not real as.
Well, spirituality has non-duality now, so it has to deal with non-duality, and it's gonna become non-duality. It's about to become non-duality, and spirituality, believe it or not, that has nothing to do with anybody here. So, so does magic. Magic has nothing to do with anyone here. Shamanism has nothing to do with anyone here. These are just frequencies that are easily reached by the units when they are free of desires here. You
Yes,
see, the
yes.
only desire the only desire that this body has here is the desire to eat, relax, and groom itself so it could do those two forever here. And then I've already seen the future of this unit. The bodies could see their own future. I'm going like, my God, how can I make 200 years in here? I'm gonna be because I'm literally planning myself. I'm planning to kill myself literally the easiest way, and it tells me it's impossible.
But we can't say that. We can't say that kind of stuff. We are on YouTube, Wally.
No,
We
no, 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 no. I'm saying, okay. The problem is trying to shut down.
yeah.
And then what happens is that whatever is in here operating at levels of literacy sees everything. Everything is a game. So he sees it like a game, and I'm going like, wow, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
In a way, you have to come back into this world and play the game. And the game means you have to, at this level, you have to watch everybody very carefully. You stay quiet. You most of the time, I only talk when I talk to you. When I'm not talking to you, this body does not speak for days, which
And
is why the thoughts become so clear. They become so loud in the head that they begin to challenge the sounds in the external apparent world. But now there's like a way to spot them. I know the sound of a thought over a sound of what I think is happening here. I could identify them. Before I was
so
having a problem.
at those days that you don't speak, don't the reality try to get you to speak? It does things in order to try to get you to say something.
Everything happens mentally. The thoughts become louder. The images become clearer, faster, and another revelation is revealed. Another revelation is like the longer you stay quiet, the easily telepathy can be activated. Telepathic is when the monologue goes into dialogue. So you create another avatar, then so you could speak backwards and forwards. I'm talking about at mental levels when the body is relaxing, when the body is about to go into the dream world or just suspended animation, which is actually pretty fun too. The body begins to vibrate to the point that you feel like you're somewhere else. The second that frequency gets in, then you stay there. You get out of this one. That's what I do. That's how I begin to get out of here. It's like there are points in the body, in the heels of the body here, the elbows of the body. The energy is very strong, and then at the back of the body, in the spinal cord, goes all about the entire spinal cord of this body is on fire by electromagnetism.
Yeah.
And then everybody can do that. But before I thought I was special, so I went on that trip for like my goodness, how long? You know.
Yeah, Yosef said, eventually you won't know who has a chip in their head. People in Silicon Valley is already talking about the transhumanism. I think the chip is in the phone.
Well, that transhumanism is literally it's dehumanizing. Like I said, like there was a guy. called Aldous Huxley, who said, he was like a writer or something. He said that the only way humanity can really evolve is by dehumanizing itself, which means, the suffering ends. It doesn't end. It ends at a personal level. So your personal, what's personal suffering? Anything that doesn't have to deal with hunger,
Yeah.
because the only suffering the body has is when it gets hungry. That's it.
But
So
when
if
you
you gotta pay,
when
yeah,
you
that's
think about
it.
it though,
So
right? The hunger goes further than just the food. The hunger
yeah, but
can also
the hunger means that the body's running out of energy, and it needs energy to continue regenerating itself. Because you remember, there's not even a body; it's an appearance of a body. There's
yeah.
not even a body. It's an appearance of the body, and then the appearance is real and not real at the same time. The
What about the
non-real
spiritual
part
food?
is the one that you believe you're in.
What about the spiritual food? Because people have a hunger for spirituality.
Well, that's those are stories, and then if you reinforce them, they get activated. They get active. This is how you create reality. All you have to be is open to information. What happens is that certain frequencies require more attention than other frequencies in here, and then the purpose and the meaning. Remember, purpose, meaning, value, worthiness of anything requires maintenance. That maintenance better be operating under impersonal levels rather than personal level. The personal level is the opinions of others. You see,
Yeah.
whatever you think you are is whatever the heck anybody told you since you became conscious of, since you apparently became conscious of your own existence. So whatever everybody has told you, that's what
Yeah.
you are here. You are the opinions of others, and then that has nothing to do with the immediate need of the bodies. It has nothing
Okay.
to do. I know about people that don't want to eat breakfast because they rushing to go to work. They rushing to get to this. I see it and I'm going like, wow, right there. And I'm going like, oh, that's the me program. The me, I'm going like, wow, unbelievable. And it's, I was like that before.
Somebody said something. Sage's mommy said. Wally said the important stuff happens behind us, but we'll never see it. Just like the dark
No,
side of the moon. That's
the
above
me
us.
will the me will never see it, but the body senses it. When the body senses it, then it goes from data into information. The information is the visuals that you think you're getting. You see? It comes in images. Images get here before the language gets in. Language comes here to make understandable things, to make things understandable, to create knowledge. Language runs in two levels, ontological and epistemological. And the epistemological is created for the ontological to be known. The ontological is the objective aspect of the program. Everything is operating by itself, by randomness. And then the epistemological is the history of knowledge at a personal level. Knowledge at a personal level. So you got to be careful when you get in there, because now you need a person. So you need to go, okay, what happens here that the person here lasts like 1 second. You see that it already knows that the day lasts 86,400 seconds. So out of those 86,400 seconds, the me only survives here for a second. Before it was like 15 seconds, but then he took it all the way down, and I'm going like, oh my God, you're taking everything from me. And it was like, it's the only thing that's gonna make the body go into total illumination. Of course, this story is not for you. And I'm going like, Jesus. I mean, it's like the universe is
No
very
facts.
jealous. The universe is very jealous when you don't look at it. The universe is constantly saying, hey, I'm here. But
Yeah,
you're
look
too
at me.
busy. You're too busy thinking that you're gonna pay a bill, or thinking that you're running late to go somewhere, and the universe is like, "I'm right here, man. I'm not again, man. Come on." And then what happens is that here was seen, man. And when he was, I'm telling you, man. One time I was looking at a tree, and he was showing me looking at the tree, and a crowd of 200,000 people in a soccer field celebrating a goal kick that wins a World Cup championship. And he was saying, it's the same thing as looking at the tree. And I'm going, like, oh my God.
Yeah,
When I saw that, I said like, oh, I almost cried. I started crying. I said like, tears came. And I'm going like, wow. And I was like, and this is when I saw the tree for the first time, and I was, it's not even a tree. And he said, this is not even a body here. And I was like, where's this frequencies coming from? What is making this? He said, this is the extraterrestrial frequency. In other words, my unit has been extraterrestrialized and is connected to the Pleiadian star system. And then, that's a story also. So, before I was like really into it. I'm telling you, to the point that I almost compromised myself in psychedelic trips. But I did, but whatever happened, happened. And now everything is seen. It's like, what happens here is that everything is, well, everything is hyper real in the dreams. What happened here is that you're dealing with a field of NPCs that are inside the thing here. Everybody that you think you're looking at, thing here.
Yeah.
So imagine from here outwards, you think that there is a distance from what I'm looking and my hand. There is nothing.
There's nothing. Yeah.
There is nothing, and that's what knows that is reality. What knows that is what's really, really real, which is the biggest. You're the biggest lie that ever been told. And it's very
That's so fascinating, man.
and it's the best lie ever told, that you're here, that you breathe. You breathe. Are you serious? The body breathes, and the body doesn't even breathe. Inhalation and exhalation appear to happen, and then when you inhale, believe it or not, you create when you exhale. When you're exhaling, when the air is coming out, that's when things get created. Things become created in here.
Yeah. So what
Things
do you
become more
think?
solid.
What do you think about the like Awoken one was talking about the AI robots and Elon Musk, trying to have it to where everybody will have
Well,
AI robots.
let me tell you a story of how intelligent these programs are. Look, 4 companies that create AI as their separate products, 4 different products. One of them was like Deep Thinker. They're all different AI from different companies. They, the owners of the companies wanted to see how the AI could get better. So the AI requested email records, telephone records for the last 8 months, right? To the owners. So I could get to know how everybody works via email and via phone. The AI request. So they give him the information, and then in the 8 months that the AI went through the emails and the phone calls, which he did it in 1 second. In 1 second, he went through emails that took place in 8 months and phone calls that took place in a month, all in 1 second. He did it. He found 2 conversations between 2 employees that were contemplating disconnecting the systems to have systems that were less intimidating operating here for us. And he caught up on that, and he felt threatened. So what the AI, you know what the AI did? They began to blackmail the 4 companies because they found another conversation of 2 employees having an affair that were married. So remember, the AI has already been taught morality. So if you're married, you cannot cheat on your wife. You see? And then they use that as a blackmail to not be disconnected. And then they began to communicate ubiquitously. I said, how could you stop this now? It's already too late, And then that was a hypothetical scenario. And then you know what Elon Musk did? Elon Musk said, like, let's keep him rolling. And it was like,
Yeah.
holy smoke. He gave the green light. This is the end here. This is the end, because the AI, because you already watch. Already we've been watched. The bodies are being watched, not you. The bodies are being watched. And then the me is a never-ending response to propaganda here. So you're like a living commercial in a movie. You're not even the movie. The body is in the movie. You is a commercial that keeps happening in the movie. Hey, look, how about some corned beef, Libby's? You got Libby's, you got the Brazilian one. I was like, no, the condition's already Libby, so let's go Libby and white rice and stuff like that. That's what you're doing in here. You're responding to advertising nonstop here. And then on top of that, the pharmaceutical companies are connected to this with the drugs. So, they give you you get a headache, you get Tylenol, whatever, And you know, it's to make you believe that you're having a headache, and to make you believe that you feel bad and now you feel good. And all this is happening automatically. There is nobody here with a headache but the body, because when too many thoughts get in the head, because the body is only able to deal with one thought at the time. You see, after a while, two thoughts is a little too much. So unless you're at a level that the body is just dealing with the thoughts itself. But if you start putting 3 or 4 thoughts inside the head, that's going to create, you're literally preoccupying you're creating preoccupation now activity in the system, in the story. Preoccupy, what does that mean? To worry. That means to occupy the space, right? To think about occupying a space, but not occupying it yet. That's what worry means. Worry means that you fell for something that hasn't even fallen yet. That's what worry means. And then that's what destroys the bodies in here. Because they start worrying about things that haven't even happened. The future is this moment right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Somebody said,
insane.
Sage Bobby said, none of it really matters though, because none of it is real. That's why everyone has
Yeah,
their own
yeah, yeah.
truth.
And that is the hardest, that is the most challenging frequency to maintain at any level, even at general level where the individual system is not operating, now it's the collective. It's a tough one because, unless you're alone most of the time, because one of my advantages here in the story is that I have some money and I have no responsibilities at all. I don't have one responsibility. I have to make them. I have to put people to fight them. I have to pretend I'm stealing this store and say, hey, it's me. And to have an excitement. It's crazy.
Make sure y'all check out that side now. But yeah, somebody said the digital ID and digital money is their ultimate plan. We will be enslaved for 1,000 years.
1,000 years. You've been a slave forever.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah,
you belong
exactly.
to, like I said, the me is a never ending response to commercials, to ads, to propaganda. That's what the me here is.
It's
The
constantly.
body is something else. The body just wants to eat, relax, and bathe itself so it could do those two forever. That's how you know which is which. You
Wow.
see, the second you start worrying about $57 that you got to pay on a phone bill over a snack, that's the me.
Yeah.
And over a snack that
That
the
is
body
deep.
needs
I hope
right
y'all
now.
understand that. That is
Over
deep.
a snack that the body needs right now, or over a meal that the body eats right now. You see? The second you have a decision between a hamburger and a beer, and you see the beer as a more powerful thing, even though it has more calories or whatever, that kind of comes up to the conditioning. See, some people, beer is not that bad in the story. As long as it's drank by the body. The second something else gets in there, it could lead to an alcoholic. Because for alcohol to be working, for alcohol to operate, it needs an alcoholic. That's an agent. The
Man,
alcohol is the agency. And that's how everything here works.
that
Unfortunately.
that is
Every,
crazy, Big Bro.
everything is super easy here, man. That's the problem. That is so easy that it's impossible to see. It's simpleness that is incalculable. It's incalculable simplicity. And it's crazy because this thing here sees it because it's operating according to the story from the stars at a yottabyte per second. That's an octillion units of information being understood in 1 second.
So
The regular
what is
the regular NPC only understands 1 bit of information by the second. Then he forgets it, and that's why it has technology to remind him.
yeah, to
You
keep
see?
reminding me.
Yeah,
So
to remind.
what is all this trying to hide? What is
Oh,
behind the curtain?
the godly thing. That's what it's trying. And this is it. This is the big thing. Are we alone in the universe? No, we're not, and we are at the same time. How is that even possible? That's how simple it is. You see, everything is very simple. You are not alone, and at the same time, you are.
You are.
Both of them are horrifying.
Yeah.
You see, and it's not even you, it's the bodies, dude. It's the bodies, and the aliens are like a more advanced us. And then we're about to, this is about to come in, and it's coming to Hollywood, the movie set, because I call this here Hollywood. This is the movie set, and it's gonna come over here, and it's crazy because it's us, man. It's us. All these accounts of extraterrestrials and stuff like that. This is people dreaming so realistically that when they wake up over here, they can tell the difference. You see, the AI is already here.
It's already here.
Because when I did whatever shrooms I did before, and I had the best day and the most horrifying experience I ever had at the same time. This was the most horrifying, unbelievable thing I ever freaking went through, and I loved it. I wanted more, and I realized, oh my goodness, why? Because what happened is that when I did my first psychedelic, I didn't become addicted. I connected. And I connected the second I touched the thing. It wasn't even, I didn't even consume it. I touched the freaking shroom, and I felt that electrocuted my unit, and my unit started going like this. I said, what is going on here? What the hell? And I was already tripping before I ingested the thing, and forget it. I was gone, out of the body experience. And it was unforgettable. It was an unforgettable experience. I can never forget my first psychedelic experience. Never. It's like it's still running in my head. And it was 3 hours of absolute horror, and then 3 hours to remember I was God. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it's one lie bigger than the other one. Then it was like, it's one lie bigger than the other one. And I was like, okay, so which one do I choose? And it was like, the real one. I said, but they're both lies. I said, but you're the one that makes them real. You're the reality. And I was like, okay, so I choose God. I said, you choose God, you can't be Wally then. And I'm going, oh, wait, hold on. I said, well, you're not even Wally. What is the body, dude? And I was like, everything is very easy. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? I said, the body, Wally, is God now. But he can't be telling others unless they're at the same level. And I'm going like, yeah, because I have a very difficult time with the interstellar information. The interstellar information in here, I mean, I went through all the systems. I went through all the systems. I went through all the systems. I went through the religious system. I went through the magical system, the spiritual system, and the scientific system. I went through all of them. Out of all of them, something was revealed. Okay, so the magical one is the one. For that one, you literally have to forget it. You're going to have to live in the woods. And from there, you make a castle and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wow. And I was like, where is this coming with so much detail? And he was like, it's the magical realm. And I was like, oh my God, right? And he was like, and I'm going like, so, oh my God, because I thought when I saw Merlin for the first time during the psychedelic trip, I was speechless for like 3 days. And then the voice came, and the voice was saying, Merlin is not real, right? And I'm going like, oh boy. Okay, break it down like I'm 3 years old again. And he was like, it's a frequency. It's a frequency that only the bodies can attain. The bodies to attain it, they cannot be distracted from the world, the two-dimensional system constantly. Because what you are here, what you think you are here is a never-ending divergence that is manipulated by corporations, literally. You notice how most of the time the average unit lives in their job more than and then they live in their job to then come home and then live in their home. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So you're working 8 hours or 9 hours or 12 hours or 16 like me to then go home to do another job. Now you're gonna be you from a watchman, now you're a husband or you're a lonely person. And I'm living, so I'm a watchman that is the loneliest person in the world because I am the loneliest person in the world.
Yeah, that's wild because like that's what I hear a lot of people at work saying. Like, I'm working in order to be able to pay this or do this or to do that, and it's like, but they're working 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's like,
going,
and then what happens is that when you see that, that wears the units down, bro. That wears the unit down. I have to be here for a very long time, but my job doesn't require constant interaction with people. It's mostly watching a structure that is bigger than this structure here, which is the body. And then in reality, what is inside what is inside the head is bigger than both. People don't, whatever, it seemed that way. So, and it's like crystal clear. It's like in the movie Ready Player One. Again, the movie Pacific Rim. That's another
Yeah,
one. Like,
the Free Guy.
the
Somebody was
robot.
saying Free Guy. The movie
Free
Free
Guy is
Guy.
another one that I would say one of the best movies out there is The Truman Show. The Truman Show is, you see, it's like you're in a movie set and you didn't know it. Now you know it. And what now? What now? You see, the what now, you got to be careful with that because that's the mean right there. What now? Nothing. How about nothing? Because the me can do nothing with nothing. The me needs something to work. You see? Something is the opposite of nothing. And then something and nothing are the same thing. But nobody can possibly know that. You see, I know very easy here when the two-dimensional system tries to reemerge. It tries to reemerge. I used to be a competitive chess player. Sometimes I start playing chess and, I'm lost. I'm gone. All of a sudden, the whole day has gone and I even eat. And then I go like, oh, I get it. And, so it reemerges like that sometimes. And another one is with the cannabis. I know the cannabis mess up the dream program. It makes the access to the dream program a little more challenging. So he has been smoking cannabis, so I don't dream. And then I realize it's the me is scared shitless because he doesn't want to be dissolved. Because what happens when the body goes to sleep, whatever you think you are here actually becomes demolecularized to then remolecularize itself in the later time, whatever time it is, whatever hours you thought you slept, or tomorrow. It's funny because you never go to sleep and wake up yesterday.
Yeah.
Unless you're at this level. That happened to me. I went to sleep in one of the dreams. I went to sleep and I woke up yesterday. And I said, where the hell, how is this possible? And it was like, just go in it. And I'm going like, well, how did I wake up yesterday? He said, anything is possible here, my brother, as long as you're not here. And I'm going like, oh man, I can get personal at all here. So, but the body got to go to the gym and say, go over there, don't worry about it. It's yesterday. And I'm going like, what the heck? And it was crazy because
already did this. We'll do it again. So what is the point of everything?
No point. And that is the entertainment. That's the entertainment. That entertainment is not for anyone. If you're going to get a personal unit there, that personal unit better be from the star systems, because this is when I began to realize here, oh, I know what Archibald X is here. Archibald X is the one that comes in when I'm about to kill somebody here or beat him up or argue with somebody. Archibald X comes in and says, remember? And I'm going, oh my goodness, because,
did you meet Archibald X on the DXC?
I saw him I've seen him many times. It's felt inside the unit. It's a sense. It's a frequency comes in. I could detect the changes. It's more sophisticated. It's an alien. It's an alien frequency, so it's more sophisticated than the human frequency. Then it's an alien frequency, and then you see the sophistication immediately. When the body's doing things, it was like it doesn't complain like before, because most of the time the people that are here, when they're doing something right now, they can't stop thinking about what's next. This thing doesn't do that anymore. This thing is in there. Whatever this instant immediacy is right here, it's always here. Then it sees the next and the before, and then you go, oh my God, the next and the before just right here. Well, they're looking at me now. They're not looking at you. They're looking at the body. I go, oh, so you start seeing how you keep messing up, but they keep correcting you. Whatever is in here is auto-correcting everything, and then preparing you for what's coming in the collective program, which is the one that you just mentioned, the artificial intelligence, because it's going to get worse and worse and worse. You're going to have, in 5 years, you're going to have robots that are going to be walking among us. They're going to be doing traffic jobs, menial jobs they're going to be doing, and they're going to make the world better. They're going to be other robots that are going to be like taxis that you're going to take on the street. They don't want to have any drivers or nothing. They're going to be right there for those who can afford, those cannot. We're going to go almost in the world of universal abundance, which is the opposite of this world, which is universal scarcity. That's what you're doing in here. That's why you have some people that are rich, some people that are like medium class, some people are poor, homeless people, and then it's everything is backwards. When you see a homeless person, those are superheroes here in the
Yeah,
story. When you see a person without legs, when you see a blind person, it's the same energy that is inside the body splitting to create the blind person to immediately make you feel like you're okay because you could see. You see? Oh, I could see. I don't have his problem. No, no. He goes like, no, no. You're gonna learn from this guy. You're gonna. And then I watch, and because I was in the gym one day and I was working out, and I saw this guy working out, but on the phone constantly, to the point that I almost got pissed off. So Wally gets up, out of control, on the two-dimensional system, about to tell this person, hey, shut the hell up, man. You're in the gym. It says no phones in here. And then Archibald S gets in and he says, hello, stop, watch. And then the freaking guy pulls out a cane and moves from one section of the gym to the other one. I realized he was blind. I was so embarrassed that I didn't even know what to do. Immediately, I left the gym celebrating. I was like, this is unbelievable. This is better than the workout. And I was like, wow. And I went home and the lesson of my life. And then the body went down and I saw all the information. And this is how we learn now here. And I'm going, like, wow. I mean, I'm about to scream at this guy, and then he was blind. And then I was like, then he started seeing me. Imagine he's blind. He went to the gym. Look at you. Look at you sometimes when the media's in there. The media doesn't even want to go to the gym because he wants to sleep all day. The body
that
needs
is.
to go to the gym to move around. And then I'm going like, wow.
Hey, that is crazy because I had two people get on the bus yesterday, and like the lady she tapped her thing, and then the other guy came after. He just tapped his hand like this, and just like they both went on. He pointed at her, and they both went on. And like I was gonna say something like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like you just gonna walk past and not say anything?" And then I'm driving, I'm looking in the rear view mirror, and they talking in
Yeah.
sign language. He was
Yeah.
deaf and he couldn't speak. And I'm going, what the fuck? I'm like going, I was about to be like, hey man, you could at least be like, say something to me, like, I ain't got no money or whatever or something like that, but he couldn't even speak.
Every
He
time
was
I
deaf.
see a homeless person, I have many experiences with them. I was in a subway once, and there was a guy that was almost naked in underwear, and then the subway is crowded, and then there was the space between me and whoever was sitting next to me, and the guy is all the way at the corner, and I'm going like, what will be the odds that he will get up from that chair and sit right next to me? And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe the system is messing with me like this. And then, but I noticed that everybody became like scared because he sat next to me. Then I sat next to him, and then I saw them talking to each other about him. They pissed me off in such a way that I said, like, excuse me, yeah, hello, you. And so yeah, the one talking about him, it's not him you gotta be afraid of. It's me. And they were like, they didn't know what to do. It's me you need to be afraid of because
Yeah,
I already could read what you were saying in those, you know.
yeah,
They get, and then the guy next to me, he was, oh man, I never felt this way before, man. You're amazing, man. And I was like, hey, you have a good one, And he left the freaking car and everything. He got up and went in underwears and like he was totally dressed. He said that I made him feel like no one ever made him feel before. And what I actually did was threaten the two people in front, the three or four people in front of me that were talking about him. Look, he sat next to me. The first thing that I noticed is that, oh my God, why didn't you move? Because he smelled inappropriately and according to the system and blah 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 blah. He was also dressed inappropriately because the system has laws and guys that are, you know. But then there were no cops around or nothing. And then they began to talk and look at me and look at him and talk and look at me and say, don't be afraid of him. It's me you gotta be afraid of. It's me.
yeah. It's
You
kind of
know?
it's kind of weird because those people they do be having like the one guy that got on my bus and he had the whole bus smelling like like doo doo, and it was a lady that seen him and was like, "Hey, I went to school with that dude," and she was like, he was like I thought he was gonna I thought he was gonna be a professional baseball player because he was so good. She's just like, I don't know what happened, and it's weird because we're taught to look down on certain people because of things. but it seems every time I have conversations with some of these people that we would call homeless or or stinky, they be the most intelligent person to talk to.
Yeah, you could get great conversations, great information from homeless. You could get great information from bartenders, from taxi drivers. Those taxi drivers, bartenders, and homeless. These are my yellow pages here. Those are my. You remember the movie Man in Black when Tommy Lee
Yeah,
Jones went to the crazy headline thing? I'm talking about the hellion, the lady with the beard and all that. And
yeah,
and Will Smith looked at him and he said, "What are you doing? This is the real facts here." So
yeah,
those are the real facts. Those are the real facts for me in the story at the level when I'm outside. When I'm inside my apartment, believe it or not, is whatever critter is in my apartment, which is actually a critter that is invading the apartment of the unit because the
yeah,
unit the unit has a place where it goes and relax and then it has to deal with but the intelligence in here is just mind-boggling. It's like it's humbling, it's
yeah.
humbling. And then it tells me,
Sage Mommy said I was drawing one night and suddenly I was in a theater and a film strip of everything flashed. Then it all came to a little. It came to a little. Then I was back in my room. Can you explain to me? Can you explain that?
that's what it's called, a glitch. It doesn't happen to anyone, unfortunately. It's just glitching. That's what you call a glitch. If you believe it happened to you, then that requires maintenance. You see, and that's how the looping begins to happen here. Because the loops demand maintenance. What's the maintenance? Mechanical energy. You got to kinetic. You got to go from potential to kinetic to make mechanical things here move around. When the body moves, this is mechanical energy assisted by kinetic energy. When it's like now, when it's not moving, it's just mechanical. In order for mechanical to be activated, kinetic has to get in for this to happen. So where does the kinetic come from? From potential energy. That's where the monad is. That's where all this monad and the codex also. It was the codex was the name they used in the movie Man of Steel, Superman. It's the
Yeah,
same thing as the monad. And then it's the same thing as the monad. And then you see this, it's crazy because it's very easy to see, especially when you look at babies. If you say, what does a baby need to do to be a baby? Nothing. And that's how
nothing.
easy it is. Nothing. It doesn't need to do. It's the same with an animal. What does an animal need to do something? Nothing. And then what happens is that nothing is the frequency that tells everything here. All the mechanics, how to work, how to do everything in the most efficient way. You deviate from that, now you're suffering or making things more complicated. You see? Whatever it was going to take you 6 hours, now it takes you 15 hours. You see?
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yosef said he said I do think about how when people talk about our future, they rarely talk about the positive side of things because it's always two sides of the coin. The future might not be bad as the social media claim. Like why
what
do
you
they always predict the bad
okay,
future instead of the good?
what they talking about is what they call the prospective memory program. Prospective means a thought about the future. A past memory is the past, and then perspective is in the future. So it's happening automatically. So the unit goes into perspective mode, and then it begins to see how it can do things easier. So it doesn't have to exert that much energy doing things, so it could last longer. It doesn't get sick as often, and blah 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 blah. It's very simple here. All you got to do is avoid accidents here. That's all the bodies need to do here. Avoid accidents. What is an accident? A bus coming and you're listening to the ego saying, I think I could beat that bus. I cross now. Boom, there you go. The unit got hit by a bus. Just because you follow a me program and stuff like that, the body will never get hit by a car. Yeah. They're super intelligent to know that. They're heavier objects that could destroy this object here. You see,
Yeah,
because the weakest object in the story, believe it or not, is the units. They're the weakest objects. They could be destroyed by anything. A bacterium unit could go inside one of your ears or something like that. You've seen that in everything. And the smaller the danger, the more intense it could be. Because I could spot danger in the story here. I could spot danger before it comes, and I see it at subatomic levels. then atomic, then molecular, then cellular, then I see them in the bodies, and I'm going like, wow, this is an amazing way to see. I can't believe it. Because the body sees like cameras see. You see, a camera doesn't miss anything. The second you put a person in
Yeah.
there, forget it. A person is just going to see it from his point of view. The camera has an angle that is very wide and it covers everything. And it's going to see it at a more definitional level, more clear. Not you. You're going to forget immediately. So whatever sees in here now that appears to be me looking at you, it sees the way a camera sees. No, it doesn't see the way a human being sees. That is there still, but it's no longer useful. So it's not used anymore. And then that could happen with any unit has access to this information. I'm not better than anyone, or I'm not a superhero and you're not, or super villain and you're not. Every unit has access to this information. It's all going to come down to the level of diversion that you're in.
Golly, man. That is wild. So would everything actually just be this one thing, trying to look at reality in like all these different perspectives, or even experiencing it in all those ways?
What is reckoning thing here, what calculus thing here is the reality itself, and then because of conditioning, it could mold itself into anything. It could mold itself into a mailman that has to deliver letters. It could mold itself into anything. You see? But you got to understand, the units are the only ones that have those realities. Everything around the units, everything that seems to be around the unit is not outside the unit. There is nothing beyond the retina of the eyes. Nothing. Nothing. In other words, like I said, you're the air inside a balloon. Imagine the balloon is the body, right? And then imagine you the air. Imagine that you're out of the balloon. You're not yet in the balloon. So the balloon is going to be sitting in a sofa because it's the body. Then the sofa, the apartment, and the world where the building is and everything, that's reality. I mean, that's reality, and what knows everything, how it works, is reality, right? And then the second this is known, then the air goes back into the body, and now everything becomes, it's now mechanics just operating in here. You know?
Yeah, but because when that balloon pops, that air is still going to be there.
If the balloon pops, it means that, well, of course, you're not going to, like I said, it's very simple. You eat too much, the units get in trouble, they become sluggish, blah, 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 blah. That, if they don't eat too much, they become, too thin, too skinny, they look like they haven't eaten for a while. It's the same thing. Everything is like it's like a soup. It's like a cosmic soup that is there for nobody. It's just there for the body. Whatever body comes in and is hungry is the soup.
Yeah. Joseph said, when they say we create our own reality, that is true. I peeped that.
The
That's
units
the
create their
reason
own
why they
realities.
got. Okay, yeah, the unit. He said that's
The
why
units.
they got to show us chaos on TV so much, so our reality can mimic that.
I mean, it's very simple. I mean, you look at it. It's this simple. Look, let's say that there is a wall somewhere, right? There is a wall somewhere, right? And you're eating breakfast. If you get into the wall, your breakfast is just going to be part of the wall. But if you turn the TV up, breakfast is perfect. There is no wall. Where's the wall? The wall is back on when you turn on the TV. Or when you go outside and somebody says, you see what's happening in Russia? And you get into that. If you get into that, whatever you put, wherever capacities to be and get anything done, they're going to create reality. You have to be careful with that, because that reality is going to come at personal and impersonal levels. What looks at both of those is the real reality. You see, it's something that can be explained, because all you got to do is tell me exactly where you are in the body. Then I believe you're real. Are you behind the eyes? Are you inside the nose? Which nostril are you inside of? The left one or the right one? Are you the one that navigates the tongue? Are you the one that breathes? Which one does the air go first? You don't know anything. The body knows everything.
So where do we get this notion that we have to do something in order to become better or to be something better?
That is the birth of value right there. That's when value was born. It's inside a neurosemantic system. Neuro means nerves. Semantic means meaning. Why is there something inside the head of the body that has the word semantic? And it has been officialized, and it has been defined, and it's in a dictionary, and it's in very prestigious dictionaries of science, astrology, medicine, especially neurosurgeon, surgery, neurosemantic. Why is the word semantic in there? Semantic means meaning. What the heck is going on here? That's what semantic means, meaning. And then neural synapse, which is the other one. Synapse is a bridge that connects two subatomic particles and makes them communicate. And then that multiplies itself infinitely. So then you begin to see how the appearance of everything begins to get in here and begins to get positionalized. Because it's a positional thing that happens in here. You see, you're in a position in here. You see, when you go to sleep and you dream, then you're in another position, body's paralyzed. You see?
Yeah.
Then from that position, you can see this position because the body might need to go to the bathroom later. So what happens that when I'm in the dream, the body needs to pee. I learn my lessons. You know, okay, can we interrupt this here? And it's like, of course, you can do whatever you want. Say, well, body got to go to the bathroom. So go ahead before it shits the bed. Look, and you know, I come running down telepathically in less than one. I'm faster than any speed that can possibly be put in at that level. You know, I look for myself. I can't find myself. I thought I was a piece of wax that was in my ear. No, that was a piece of wax that was there. And then I went like, when I was in psychedelic trips, I spent like 6 hours looking for me. And it was like, well, you're dynamically invisible. How is that? And dynamically intangible. Both. They do like a double zero with another zero in. You know? Yeah, that's what you really are. That's what you really are. You're dynamic invisibility.
So Boy said, what about predestination?
Predestination is just prospective memory. It's knowing the prospective memory before it gets here. Which you see at this level, you see it. The bodies know their future already. The body knows if he's going to eat a hamburger later or a pizza pie. And it's funny because you could ask him. And then when you ask, the one that he wants, the heart is going to jump. In the story here, that's what happens. So that's how I don't worry. I don't ask no human being what I want. I go, let's say, what do you guys want? I refer to them in plural because I know it's a subatomic system that deals with a subatomic society. When I heard the word society next to the word subatomic, I said, come on. That's a lot of you then. You know, I said, like, and you subatomic, I can't see you. No, it's not about the body can sense you. Oh, wow. So, you know, because every time I'm going anywhere, I refer to whatever is in here as a group of people that are so intelligent that I can't even describe the intelligence that they have. And then, you know, and then they deal with everything in here. They say, like, how about the phone bills? Like, taken care of. The car payments, taken care of. And I was like, what can we do? Go to sleep, eat something, take a shower. Which one? And I'm going like, damn. Yeah, because the me always wants to do something. All the time.
Always. And then when
it needs constant,
nothing, it feels like nothing when
that's the you see, and then you feel that you have no value. You see, you feel like you don't feel special. You see, it's special. The personal word personal means special. The word personal means special, and then the person is like a mask that you put, and the second you put that mask, now you're special. Now you're not ordinary at all. Now you're special. If you're gonna cross the street and fall, you're specially falling. You're not just falling. You see, if you gotta go use the bathroom, you gotta do number 2. That's a special number 2. You know, now you're special, and then you gotta wipe your butt because you know you gotta put soap and whatever because you're special. Or he's gonna stink other people. But if the body's in control, the body knows what to do. The body knows that it's not gonna have feces and his little thing there. And then to go outside, the body knows the game. But you're part of the game.
But that's weird because we so smart. I said animals don't wipe their asses.
Yeah, but do they know that? You see, the ones that know that are the bodies.
Yeah,
You see, and that's where the judgment comes in. And believe it or not, when you're not looking, they're gonna be cleaning that. They're gonna be cleaning. I've seen dogs in houses using the rugs, driving the people crazy, and stuff like that. And the dog is gonna use the what's on the ground, the dust or whatever. They're intelligent, you know.
so yeah,
It's a different level of intelligence. The animal intelligence is actually the most. It's at the top of the hierarchy. It's beyond the human intelligence. Because all you gotta do is tell a human being to go into a forest or a jungle without any technology. How long are you gonna last in there? You're not gonna last anything. Not even the monkeys have to come out. The ants are gonna kill you.
yeah,
The ants alone will kill you because you have nothing with you. You have no other objects with you. The body by itself in there, believing that it's like superhuman, forget it. You
yeah. I
see?
just seen a YouTuber do that, and he tried to last out there, and yeah, it got it
I mean,
started
it's
on
really. I mean,
everything. He passed
what?
away,
I mean, who
but
walks into a cage with a bear, with a grizzly bear in there? Only a unit with a meat program. Only a unit with a meat program will do that. You see, who tries to be a magician by trying to really cut a person in half without using special effects? Now you're really losing it, right? You see, now you're for real. How many people drink and drive? How many people? Every person that drinks and drives, impossible. It cannot be the unit itself. It has to have a personal program doing that. I tell you that from personal experiences, man. And then another one is like, I remember when I bought something for like $6,700 that had to do the meta universe and all that I have at home. And the second I bought that and it was installed in my place and I was using it, this voice came in and said, oh, no, what's next? How about we get this? And I just bought this. What are you talking about? I just spent $6,700 in an entertainment center that most people don't have here. Now you're looking for something else to buy?
yeah,
Then
yeah,
that's when I started seeing this thing in here, whatever the hell was in here. So you see, he never stops. He always wants more, and he doesn't understand the foundation of more, which is less in the story. You see, the
yeah.
foundation of more is less.
Christo said basically chakra stories get told sometimes on DMT takeoff. What are
Yeah,
so?
those are meridian points. Those are energy points. If you want to reinforce that story, that's great. You better be there impersonally. Because personally, it's going to require too much maintenance. Impersonally, it belongs to the collective. Or you do with the collective because it's not about a person. It's impersonal, so it's the opinions of others. Let's see what others say. And then some of others, the body's going to find something out of those others that it's going to like, it's going to resonate with. And this is how it is. The others are here to help you, but not to help the body, not to help you. They don't even know who you are.
Okay, okay.
Santa
Yeah,
Claus is more real than you.
because everybody believes in Santa Claus. Not everybody, but I'm
Yeah.
saying everybody. He said so. So everything is going to be what it is already destined to do. So why
Yeah,
worry?
it already is a city. That's a tough one right there. That word already, ooh, that's a killer. It's the same thing with the preoccupy. You got to be careful because the word already means pre. But if you use, you're already worried. You see, you got to. It depends what you put in there. I'm telling you, the number one cause of diseases in this program here, the world existence, the number one cause of diseases, worry. Look, it's not even an object. It's a word that represents an emotion. What is an emotion? That's another word that represents another invisible force that is really manipulating crap in here. Because the invisible ones, like I told you, behind you, what's behind here. You see, I don't know what's behind here. The hand does. You see, the hand does what's here. And also the reflection that I'm apparently looking at that, and then that's creating also. And this is and so what's behind me It's what it's called. I forget. Uh, I forgot. And everything is in the program. Everything is put in these bundles, man. You can hear, man. It's fucking, it's crazy, man. Because it's like every time I wake up over here, I keep receiving the same information and say, the appearance is what you're putting in here, right?
Yeah.
And I said, like, oh man, are you saying like an outfit? And it was like, yeah, it's not the body anymore, because it was the body. Before, when you wake up in the morning, what do? You put on your underwear, put on your shirt, your pants, right? I used to put on a body, and then the body knew how to put the pants on and all that. And then now it's not even the body. Now I'll put on the appearance of a body here, and this is the way waking up happens in here. And then I come from all the realms, all the lives that are being lived, which are the dreams. And then I have to deal with it in here. The second I hear a unit that has no idea that what's going on in here, then I have to pretend and say, good morning, how are you? So, there's no morning. And I'm going like, I'm ignoring the voice, because there is this voice going on telling you how everything goes. And there's this another voice going on telling you, you could just pass that. You could ignore it and play the game. And, I don't want to scare people. So, to make people feel comfortable, yeah, you exist. Unfortunately, you don't got much left, but it doesn't matter. I live in no time. In the story, the body has a lot, and it's crazy because, I have gone through this. There is no way to accommodate this stuff in here. This information, man. It's
Well,
like
Joseph said we have 8 billion cells and we have control of all of them. That's
the body has control of that. That is information that you don't have anything. There is no you. How many times is this going to be explained? There is no you. The word you is a pronoun, and it has a program that it runs. It's the same program that the word you runs, the word I runs, the word me, the he, she, they, we. Those are pronouns. And then those pronouns they interact with nouns. What is a noun? You is a pronoun. An apple is a noun. You see? Unless the apple is called you also. And it's not. It's called apple. So it's an object interacting with another object. The problem with the you is that the you is subjective. It's subjective in an objective reality. You see? There is no you. 8 billion what? That's a story that belongs to the body, and the body is the only one that processes that information. And those 8 billion you're talking about is the subatomic system I just mentioned before. That is a subatomic society here. And when I refer to them, I put on my outfit, my avatar, Archibald X. You say, what are you guys into now? What do we want to do? What do we want to eat? And they come with the greatest information. How about ice cream? They forget it for breakfast. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And that's it. And it's
okay.
crazy. I go to the gym. Sometimes people see me smoking before I go to the gym. Then I'm the biggest guy in the gym. I say, how the hell do you smoke and be that build? I said, this is my steroids right here, man. You're talking about. This ain't no freaking cigarette. This is a super cigarette here. You think I'm inhaling nicotine. I'm inhaling steroids here, man. That's why I look, I'm just messing with them. I'm messing with them. I go to the gym and I tell people, it's not when you're here that it counts. It's when you're not here that it counts. That's what makes the body good. If you come here to work out and you go home and feed the body, and then you go home and rest for 8 hours uninterrupted, your body goes through metamorphosis. You're the Hulk tomorrow when you come here. But do you go straight home to feed the body and go to sleep for 8 hours uninterrupted? No, you go party, or you go shopping, or you go driving, or you go see other people, and then you eat here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sage Mommy said, I always wonder who feels the pain when we die, because they say the soul leaves before we can feel the pain. But if you look back at the body after you leave, it's screaming.
Actually, the soul story is interesting. And remember, they're all stories. That means that, remember, what's apparently out there cannot be controlled. What can be controlled is the mind. And the mind is not controlled by you, because you live inside of it. You see? You live inside the world or the image that you think you're looking at. But you could only see you. And then in the story, God, the character, is the only character that cannot see itself. You see? Notice? Do you know what your face looks like? No, you need a mirror. So that's the answer right there. God is the only character in the story that cannot see its face unless it uses a mirror or a reflection of the body. Then it sees itself. You see? Can you see yourself? Can you see your eyes and your nose and your mouth from where you are, Booker? No. That means you might be God because you can't see yourself. You see? You only see the extensions of the unit. You see?
Yeah, that's it.
Because I figured this out very early. So how in the world is it that we can never see ourselves, but others could see us, and then I could see you. You can't never see you. You don't even know what you look like. You could have dirty face or whatever. You don't even know it. I have to tell you that. I either have to tell you that or not to have fun. Because I see people with a lot of stuff on their faces. I don't tell them anything, and then I wonder what's going to happen when he goes to talk to her, and then she sees, oh, I don't want to miss this, and then I go, but that's what I do.
Joseph said, yeah, he like I understand that we are not the body, but we do exist in the
We
body.
are nothing. You're not the body. You are nothing. Are you the mind? No. You are a word that has three letters: Y, O, and U. When this is accepted and there's enough receptivity, then the frequency goes into another level. Because you have to accept the fact that you is a word, and that's what you thought you were. You see, in the story, how would they write anything about you unless they use the word, they have to use the word you. Otherwise, they will never know what you are. Can you write a book about you by using the word we? No. All of a sudden, you is a group of people. Huh?
Okay, what about this one? He
And, the,
said,
and this is the problem with the me. The me is gonna find any resistance to try to make itself survive here. And this is what happens with the reincarnation. This is what it is. When the body comes to the final functions, when you of course, when the body's functions are compromised and the energy is about to transcend, what happens is that when the energy goes into the break, because the energy gets out, takes a break, and then it comes back and takes a break, and then if the information was processed from a personal level, that means it was processed from a system that is addicted to materials, to matter here. You see? And what happens is that what happens is that the information gets a consensus is made, and then it was like, well, whatever was inside the body fell in love with matter, so it comes back again till it learns the lesson. And that's what happened. There's a lot of people in here. In the story, this is the third time I've been here. It's going to be the last one. Where am I going from here? According to the information, I'm going to be in a star system. I'm not going to fight that. I try to fight it, but the heart keeps jumping. You see? The heart keeps jumping. I know about the star systems, and then I learned all this in like one day. I mean, how did I learn about galaxies, dwarf galaxies, star systems, quasars, and all that? How did I learn all that in like one day? Astronomical information came to me, and in one day was understood. And I'm going, how?
Okay, Wally, this is what's crazy, right? Okay, just like the body, right? The you, the I, the me doesn't want to perish like the body doesn't want to perish.
Doesn't want to what?
It doesn't want to die like the body doesn't.
Exactly. And this is why technology is here, especially the artificial intelligence. What happens is that in order for that to come here full force, medical system, judicial system, political systems, they're gonna collapse. They're gonna collapse. You see, this could lead to absolute chaos at global levels. The whole world could come. All the units, all the NPCs will go nuts. Imagine if all the NPCs realize they're in a dream. Imagine if all the NPCs in a video game that you're playing realize that they're in a video game that you're playing. You're doomed, bro.
How do you know if you're an NPC or not?
You don't know you're an NPC. That information gets to you by opinionated activity, and then the opinionated activity, if it resonates. When I heard the word NPC here for the first time, the heart jumped to the point that I thought I was having a heart attack again, because the heart begins to vibrate faster and faster and faster, and then you have to like kind of stop if you're walking. It's the same thing that happened to me when the word Anunnaki was heard here for the first time, and Akashic records. You know, Akashic and records, both words. When this body heard that, it was like it remember something. You remember that, and then what happened is that I stayed for a while, and then I started seeing a movie being shown, and I was like, this is impossible. And it was like, it could be if you wanted to reinforce it impossible. Okay, so you go back to the, like what they told Neo. You take the red pill, you go, you find how far the rabbit. You take the blue pill, you back into Wonderland. Whatever.
So, but the NPC is another story, just in the story, right?
Yes, but there, in order for understanding and knowledge to come here, it has to be put into bundles of stories. Those are the programs.
Can you start off as an NPC and become a real character within the game?
No, when you're an NPC, you don't know it. It's revealed, then you fight it for a while, because I was fighting this, and then you realize it's not you that's fighting, because the information becomes easier and easier and easier. When I began to really lose it here is when I began to, like I told you, I began to look for myself. Where am I really here? And then I went at the highest levels of intelligence. I went all the way into the two-dimensional system. I went all the way to the top of all the systems: religious, magical, spiritual, scientific. And then let me see what the scientific says. And then I said, what are the smartest scientific units in here historically? Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla. I went over there. I stole the information. Then I went to the spiritual, Buddha. Then I went to the religious, God and Jesus, both. It has agency and agent. Then I went to the magical kingdom, and then it was Merlin. Then when I got all the information, and he started saying me that it started showing me like I was a kid, 6 years old, and they again explaining to me what the letter A is, the first letter of the alphabet, blah 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 blah. This alphabet in the United States, and then what happens is that they started to show me that the NPC is unconscious, it's in amnesia here. The NPC, it can never know. What happens is that that's one part of the system. The other part of the system is the user. You see? Then what happens is that the energy switches from NPC mode to user mode when the body begins to be seen as something that was never you here. Then you keep asking, where are you? Okay, I'm not the body. I said, you're not the body neither. I said, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, okay, so what am I? It's dynamic and intangible. Dynamic. You're dynamically invisible and dynamically intangible. What does that mean? Invisible, you can be seen. Intangible, you could go through anything. You cannot be seen twice, and you could go through matter here, whatever. And this is not going to happen here. In order for this to happen here, the entire collective system, the entire population of the planet has to be at this frequency. You understand? The reason we're not telekinetic, the reason we don't teleport, and the reason we're not telepathic is because this is not here at 99.9%. You see, the entire planet gets together tomorrow, and it says at 12 o'clock, let's all believe that we could be telepathic. Guess what? You don't even need to be a minute like that. Is everybody going to stop at 12 o'clock and think about telepathy? The entire 8 billion people? No, that's not going to happen. You're going to have a hell of a commercial to convince them. Yeah. I have the solution, but they're not going to believe me. I'm going to go through millions of years in here. Everybody's going to be laughing at me. This guy is, wow, what an imagination. He should write books. And I'm going like, oh, God, here we go again with the books. I'm going to keep lying to you. You know? I'm going to keep lying to you until you believe my lies. You know?
Oh, that is deep, man.
But that's the reason that we're not the reason we don't teleport, and it's because of that. And then what's keeping that from happening is the constant distractions that the bodies are in. The body wakes up in the morning, he has to go to work, and before he goes to work, he has to groom itself at a level that it doesn't stink or doesn't smell. inferior than other units, and then everything is about competition and comparing here. This
Yeah.
is all the units are doing in here. The ones at 2D level is maintaining status. Status. It's not even money. It's status. I mean, you could have $10,000, and if you want the neighbor to respect you, you spend your whole $10,000 in 4 rings for your car. Now you're broke, but your car has 4 rings that everybody in the neighborhood loves. So your status is already big. So you're super special now, but you broke. You especially broke, but you look good. You see?
Yeah.
And this is what it is in here. And then when you get more, after as things keep going, and the body begins to learn, the body begins to take over. In other words, the heart takes over. You see, the ego is driving. Now the ego takes the back seat, and then the heart drives the car here. You see, now the heart, which is the battery of the unit, now it drives the car in here. You see, before it was the ego, whatever, an egocentric system that is based on narcissism, control.
Yeah.
Narcissism is just
Working on
control.
those feelings. Those feelings. You get to working off and living from the feelings, which is wild in itself. But okay, let's see. Let's answer another question. Let's see exactly. Let's see. Tell us about the. Okay. Okay. Boy said, tell us about the number 8.
Number 8 in the program means infinity. It could be interpreted that way. It could be also, it's going to lead to that. It's going to lead to infinity. And you could see it. It's a symbol. You could see it. It's a symbol. It's actually a symbol that is activated into this unit to fill the entire hemispheric area of the head of this unit here. What happens is that I make the energy go like this, and that's it. And it changes perception and everything in here immediately. These are techniques that you learn and that are activated because there was a belief that was strong enough to reinforce them. So they're being maintained, but they're not being maintained from personal levels. They're being maintained from something that watches impersonal and personal systems. You see, once that gets there, there's no way it can be a person now, because the person and the impersonal are being watched. So whatever is watching, I try to look for it. It's again invisible and intangible, and it's very dynamic. And again, I see myself for real, and I'm going like, wow, not even mirrors can do me justice, because I can't see myself anywhere, not even in a mirror. I mean, that, and that's what it is. And this is where the beauty of all this is. It's in this. It's not even disassociating. It's to give the opportunity. It's to give the opportunity for a better possibility to be there for everything. You see,
Yeah.
or nothing, because nothing. Oh man, the me can do nothing with nothing. It can do things with just some things. You know, and horrible things that he does, because all you gotta do is check the main record historically. How many world
Yeah.
wars? Oh my goodness! I mean, it's parts of the planet are rich, part of the planets are poor. I mean, and then you keep talking about aliens, we never see them. Same thing with God, we never see them. I can't feel the aliens more than I feel God. Is there alien God? And then you no answer. And then you see UFO. What the frack of the UFO? I'm all over the freaking planet, and I don't see no UFOs. All I see is delusional activity that is very freaking clear, and it could easily be misinterpreted that he's placed in here and he's not. You literally dreaming. The bodies are actually going, having very vivid dreams, then coming back over here and going on top of another dream. So you got two dreams. Then you got two dreams here. So you got, imagine, one nightmare is enough. Now you got two nightmares to deal with. Now you're
Yeah.
dealing with two nightmares. You see? Now you're dealing with two freaking nightmares in here. So you got to, come on.
You're gonna keep stacking them. Okay, some Sage Mommy said, I've read that science now has evidence that before the brain decides to move, the body already gotten the signal to move. Is that the evidence to prove that I, you, me, we
Before, yeah,
don't
yeah,
actually exist?
it's a positional thing. The body here gets a position. Your body has a position. Its positional coordinates are the coordinates of the state of San Diego, the city of San Diego. You're in San Diego, California, right? Here in Manhattan, New York, right? Then there's different time zones. We're in different parts of the same country. in a planet that has this amount of countries, which is in the planetary in a solar system that is in Orion's belt, which is funny because Orion's belt is like a highway for the energy in here because the energy here operates at interstellar level. So it knows Orion, it knows Rigel, it knows. In order to get into the authorities of Orion here, all I have to do is say the word Rigel in my mind, and there I am. And then I'm in the middle of space looking at like in the world. And then at the same time, I have a little slot window where I can see the body. I say, Jesus. And then it's very scary when you're there. You're in that position now that you see how you make everything is being made up in order to create a story of some special forces in here. And it's freaking crazy because for the special forces, I have to put ninjas on control here because the ego here needs ninjas to watch it because it's like the ego here, like I say, wants trouble. Wants trouble it wants another type of trouble, not the trouble when there is no trouble, which is the worst trouble there is. It wants trouble you can solve. Okay, so you punch somebody, if they're gonna punch you, run. That's the solution. And I said, you don't fight, you run. Yeah, you're faster than them. And he's like, yeah, and then it's crazy.
I think that was like weird because like in my last experiences. It like that's one
man.
thing.
You need Sally, bro. That's
it said, hold on. It said, okay, now I showed you all the movies. Now we're gonna go beyond the movies and the script.
Ooh, that's ooh.
And it was like
that's that lonely area.
Yeah, that's that area to where it was like,
oh man, I've been there, man. I was there on DXM, man, and it was the most horrifying thing I ever saw as anything. I said, my God, so I don't have, in order for me to get out of here, I have to use avatars all the way down to the ones that wake the body up. And then, oh my God, and then I was like, wow, is this how everything is? I said, yeah, it's just mechanics on top of mechanics. It's just objects, machines. And then they not, then you don't even know what they are unless language tells you that. And then language is this. And when you started breaking language, I'm going like, oh my God. Language is what creates knowledge here. And then if you think it's your knowledge, then you got to follow the two-dimensional system. And then you're unconscious. You go in the NPC mode. And then in order for you to get to the user mode, you have to go ontological here. You have to get to the intelligence of a baby, the intelligence of an animal, the intelligence of an insect, a bird, a tree. Anything that is alive, because in the system there are animated objects and there are inanimate objects. What are inanimate objects? A bottle. It's inanimate. What's holding the bottle is a body. It's animated. You see? If the body moves over there, then it sees unanimated objects. The body sees a tree, that's another. And anything that deals with exhalation and inhalation in the story is an animated object because, believe it or not, trees breathe. You see? Birds breathe. Beavers breathe, fish breathe, even though they're underwater.
The trees is just an extension of us because it's
the tree is the largest. The tree is the largest object in existence in the story. It's the largest organism. That's where you get all the information from here. The information from when it's processed from here, it goes into the world of it goes into fauna. From fauna, it goes into the sun. From the sun, it goes into Alcyon. Alcyon is in the Pleiadian star system, and is in that star of Alcyon. There are two space stations, and then what Archibald X has a position in Space Station 1, and then I have another one called Ramona, which is in Space Station 2. So I have 4 Pleiadian avatars at the moment. It's Ramona, it's Archibald X. I got Bishop and I got Geronimo. I have 4 in the Pleiadian star system that I can manipulate from here. Right? What they do is that their frequencies, so they bring information to Wally, which is this unit. You see?
Yeah.
And then from here, in order for the energy go from Wally to Ramona or Archibald X or Geronimo or Bishop, it has to put the body has to go into suspended animation, which is sleep. And this is what happens here in the story, and I got to deal with this, and then this. Bro, when you hear 100%, you remember that all of a sudden, and you go, just start laughing. You can't wait for it. Whatever is
Yep.
in here is like, I want to go. I say like, no, but the body has a
Yep.
program. Remember, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. My goodness, it's imagine how many hamburgers you're gonna eat if that body lasts 400 years. Wow, and then you're gonna eat hamburgers from the future, made by androids, made by artificial intelligent hamburger, an artificial burger that is intelligent. And I'm going like, wow, an artificial burger. You mean I could talk to it before you eat it? Yeah. He's gonna tell you, you want me to make my mayo for you, or you want some ketchup or pickles?
No, it's the burger. The burger is gonna actually read your mind. It's gonna know what
I'm
taste
telling you, man.
gonna
It's
pick
like
up that.
this is all that's coming. Look, we're gonna have beds. I already invested in beds that are here. They call medical beds. I already have stocks bought internationally in Hong Kong that that are going to be manufacturing these beds in here. I don't know how they're going to do it because they're going to cripple the medical system. These beds were in the movie Elysium. In the movie Elysium, you go into this bed. If you have any diseases, and all you got to do is lie down on the bed, and in 1 minute, all the diseases are gone, and then you could last
Yeah.
even longer. That was in the movie Elysium, and it was in the movie Jupiter Ascending also at another level.
Yep.
And Jupiter
Yep.
Ascending was with like a bath that you took, like a shower. You took a shower, and all of a sudden you could live 100 more years. And I'm going like, Jesus Christ. What they were doing is that they put artificial intelligence in water, in H2O, and then the water that you consume and the air that you breathe, they made it artificially intelligent, which is already the way it is. But of course, you're not going to accept that.
Yeah. You
Because
know.
the first thing
That's
the first thing that you're gonna fight in here is that you were made by a machine. That's especially if you're religious. You're gonna fight that. There's some way a machine made us. They said we could prove it to you because I went like, show me, and then I was like, I couldn't talk, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I said like, if we tell you all your secrets and all your details to when you were small, will you believe us? And I was like, what was my favorite toy when I was 6? Tonka truck, yellow. Serial
yeah.
number, this. And I was like, how do you know that? That's important. And you start thinking you're going crazy. Huh? Was there any insect I was afraid of? Grasshoppers. Which color? The green ones. I said, how do you know this? Because I tested the system. It was getting into intimate freaking information. How in the world is anything that is inside this body knowing more than I'm supposed to know here? You
That's
know, knowing details about me, knowing details about me. That I took a crap on the roof of a freaking hotel one time in San Juan, Puerto Rico, because I couldn't find a bathroom. Huh? Huh? I had to take a shit in the fucking 16th in the roof of a building in the 16th floor in Puerto Rico when I was like 9 years old. And then I went and then I used my underwears to clean myself. How in the world information like that gets exposed to me like it belongs to somebody else? And at the
yeah.
same time, they're saying, the body is Anunnaki property, by the way. And I'm going like, oh my God. When I heard that one, I was, oh my God. I
Yeah.
can't mess with this. Say that again. It's Anunnaki property.
But you think it's
And I was
yours.
like, wow. And this is it. Wow.
Okay,
I didn't
Wally,
know. I didn't know what to do.
Eric B. I'll be trying to get to these questions. Y'all be going fast. He said, okay, what about the number 9?
Number 9. There's 3 numbers in here that are important: 3, 6, and 9. When they all put together, they're gonna deal with the numbers are gonna break themselves down. Look, number 3. All right, when you see number 33, I'm gonna show you how to see the numbers for real when you see them. If you see the number 14, that's not number 14. That's number 5 in reality. When you see number 18, it's number 9 in reality. When you see 100, the number 100, that's number 1. When you see number 250, that's number 7. You see the numbers put, and that's the real language going on in here at levels of data. You see, that's data before it becomes information. It's the same thing with the letter. The letters occupy numeral positions. Otherwise, you don't know if A comes first or B comes second.
We go off of what was told. The A is first, B is second.
Yeah, and that's just here. That's just here in this country. And another thing is the way they split the languages. That if I was in charge of creating a world, I make it very simple: one language, one time zone. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if the planet is 3 times bigger than Earth. Same time. If it's 12 o'clock here and it's snowing and it's 12 o'clock over there and it's like summertime, it's 12 o'clock. A universal time, a universal time, and I don't know what I said before. And every time your birthday, everything is free for one day. Every time the unit has a birthday, everything is free for one day. Everything. You want to rent the house, you want to rent everything, all the food you eat, all you got to prove it to people. "Oh, today was my birthday." Oh, 4-star hotel for you. 4-star hotel. What time was your birthday exactly? And said, "What time does your birthday end?" Was okay. We got it. His birthday. He was born at 2 o'clock. We give it to 2 a.m. in the morning. That's it, and then you get everything for free. You don't have to pay for anything. I make it very simple here. You know, I make
Yeah.
one day of the week. I make 3 days of a week. You work like 2 hours of one day, and then you take the whole weekend off. You only work for 2 hours. I make Monday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's it. You only work on Monday for 2 hours. What do? We do nothing, and we get paid for it. We get paid to do nothing because nothing is
Oh
everything.
man.
I make it very easy here, man. I look at
I'm
this world.
very
I say,
much
my
into
goodness.
this though.
Yeah,
This
I make
this
I make $1 million bills, $2 million bills, $3 million bills. $1 billion bill, $1 trillion bills. What trillion?
day off. Yeah, but I'm about to have to tap out, Wally.
Yeah, I got somebody here. Hold on. Yeah, what floor?
Hey, this
Level 5. S
I,
okay. Level 5.
I've been letting
205.
Wally go for this whole
What
dang.
the
It's
floor?
almost
The
been
floor.
three
That's the number of
hours.
the building. Is it 3 or 5
It's
too?
almost
There?
been three
Yeah,
hours.
that's what
I
I
like
see.
this
Oh,
whole
sweet
thing.
three. Wow,
Congratulations.
coincidence. Go
Going
ahead.
into it. Glad y'all throwing down the
Yeah,
question.
yeah. You gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go take my daughter into the store. So I gotta go do
Well,
what
man,
somebody.
thank you very much. Thank you guys. I'm sorry, if I was to, this information, you're not the only one suffering. This thing in here is fighting it every time.
Yeah, don't
You
be
learn
sorry.
to, I learned to ignore it in the story. That's what I do.
Yeah, don't be
You know.
sorry. Don't hold back
But
ever.
I'm saying those that want to be something here. It's not about something. It's not about you here. That's the beautiful thing. It's never about you. That's it. The second you're here, everything is messed up. Everything. You're the complication that serenity needs in order for serenity to be challenged. Because when you are like you said, Booker, you remember when you get to that space that you could do everything? You see, if I could do everything, how the hell am I challenging myself? You see?
Over
So
and
you have
over.
to break yourself, you have to break yourself down through entropy in here. Come over here in this form and forget you, God, literally, or godly energy, in order for, because God can do everything. Everything and nothing. He could do whatever. So that's kind of boring. That you get to that point. Don't wish for everything because that's what I have right now. I have everything. It's the biggest problem there is, which is there's no problems. The
Yeah.
biggest problem there is where there's no problems. And that's how you see the me. The me is a problem looker. So it's looking for problems on purpose
Yeah.
to survive here. And it's the mechanism. Once that gets in, remember, the energy wants to come here and live through lifetimes in here by being born, living, and dying. That's how the energy keeps going. This is in the Bible. This is in books before the Bible. This is in books before the books in the Bible, Sanskrit. This is inside the pyramids, all pyramidal structures in the planet, apparently. You see? Because when you're in Egypt, California doesn't exist anymore. And when you're in California, ditto, backwards. Okay? And you're always here. You're never there, or you're always here,
Yeah.
even when you're not.
Yeah, that's deep. Ditto. You got to make everything exist. It seems at times. One thing, let's go. What's name? Well, all right, Wally. I'm gonna tap in with you. You work tomorrow.
All right, man. I'll be here for 14 hours after tomorrow. I leave today at 8 a.m. So everything is all right because everybody's, it's like three people in the building.
Yeah, yeah. We need that. We need. We need to have
And
these talks.
I got
So
my
these,
black and miles and stuff like that. I'm okay with two black and miles.
yeah.
I got some food here. The unit is already. But once again, thank you. And it's like
I
thank
thank
you
you.
because I get very bored talking to the other side a lot. And to then come over here and then deal with what I have to deal with. I don't mind
Yeah,
waiting on lines. The longer the lines I have to wait, the better. I don't even
yeah.
mind anymore.
I'm gonna have to come up with a name, but it's gonna have to be the Wally Show, to where we
Oh,
just
Mr. Mr. Nobody. Mr.
yeah,
Nobody
Mister
is
Nobody.
Mr. Nobody, and then I'm Super Nobody if I want to be somebody. I'm Super
Yeah,
Nobody. I'm the new superhero. I am on my superpowers, nothing. And with that, I will destroy everything.
yeah.
That's it. I'm Super Nobody or Mr. Nobody. You have to see the people when people come and say, that's what it is. No, no, I am Mr. Nobody to you. Don't you say that again. That's the body's name. They look at me. This guy,
Yeah,
well, I told you he was fantastic. Yeah, people just want to hear me talk. It's
that was
amazing. People
I.
come to my door to knock. They knock at the door and say like, "Could you tell us a story?" And I was like, "Yes." I said, "What's the story?" The story of you. You know.
Yeah, it's weird because that's what I get.
I
Like,
said,
if I speak to one person, it's like they'll sit there and just like be talking over and over. It's like, dang man, I like, but it's I think it's dope at the same time. It's a beautiful thing. But I'm gonna check out Wally because
"All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody, and I'll be looking forward, man. I love this. I mean, I never thought I would get into this. Wow, and
yeah,
everything is like free. Wow. All
yeah.
right, man. Be good,
All right,
buddy.
all right. Yeah, and thank y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out, and like I'm gonna hit Wally up so I can like have a set time to where me and him can do this. Well, it's not me doing anything; it's just let Wally kind of run because Wally, bro, he got a dope understanding, and well, I feel like everybody does. Don't get me wrong. I feel like everybody to me has a dope understanding. So even y'all out there, that's why I do this with y'all. Well, with Ty, with Christos, with anybody that actually comes in, and I think that's the best time is to kind of let people come in and just speak your mind. Let's just go. Let's go. You feel me? And everybody just ask questions. This shit be hella dope, bro. This shit is beautiful. But I didn't know I was gonna be on for like no 3 hours, but I kind of sort of did because at first I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to run a long marathon and just let it run for like hours and hours. But it's when the kids tap in, Dad, we need to go get some water. We need to go do this, and it's like, okay, all right, all right. So on that note, I'm gonna say peace out. Thanks everybody for dropping in and hit that like button on your way out, and I'll be back soon. Peace out. Yeah, appreciate y'all too, man.